welcome in to One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. We are live from Radio Row in San Francisco at the Moscone Center. I'm Griffin Stevenson, joined by Chris Carino and Brendan Shorey. We have Joe Henry, Owen Kelty, and Tucker Austin at the table surrounding us. They are not on the mic right now, but we are here. We flew across the country to be here to give you guys a one-on-one show. We had team media availability this week, soaking in the city. But first, Brendan, I'll start with you. How are you doing today?
Real excited. I mean, I don't think I can really compare to you two, and we'll get into why. But just super cool to be able to be around all the players. A really cool convention center. A lot of really cool people that we've seen walking around, current players, former players, and all that. So just excited to be here.
Yeah, Griff. Overwhelming would be the word I would use. From our fan zone experience last night to our walking around the city to player availability today to now where we are here at Radio Row. It's an overwhelming experience, but overwhelming in a good way. I'm
just going to say the reason that Brendan alluded to and the reason why I think it's a little bit more special, Chris, for you and me, is that just so happened the year we are seniors, we have done our time in the WFUV program, get to go to the Super Bowl. Happens that our Seattle Seahawks are in the Super Bowl, and not only that, but as you can see here, they are favored to beat Joe Henry's Patriots in the Super Bowl. But I guess before we get into the availability stuff, the team and player availability we had this morning, the first day that we went to, day 2 of actual team and player media availability, we flew into San Francisco yesterday. Got in at like 1 p.m., great flight. I guess we'll start there. How was your guys' flights?
Flight went well. It was funny. There's always those couple of talkers on the plane.
Yeah,
and I ended up next to one of them. Very nice guy, an older guy who actually worked for ESPN for years on the technical side. He said he's been to like 15 Super Bowls, like a bunch of Rose Bowls. So he was headed out here for not the same exact thing as we're doing, but something very similar. So I got an earful on the plane there, but also got to watch a couple of movies. But it was fun. He was an interesting guy to talk to.
I went Johnny Manziel Netflix doc on the plane on the way here. I've seen it before, but I just like to see it all unravel and unfold.
Is that the one where he talks about just how he was selling his autographs?
Yes.
I can't hear you. I got too much money.
I was like, we could figure out that technical difficulty.
We could.
But no, yeah, that documentary surrounding his friend who was kind of facilitating all that money, as well as him, I just find it to be a fascinating story. And getting me in the feel for football, not really true football. Sort of what exactly this is the week. It's the pageantry and the football all together.
I watched. I went for You guys are making fun of me.
You read on the plane.
I read on the plane.
My mom would like if I read on the plane.
I finished my book, but then I watched a Cold War documentary. So
kid's performative. He really is.
Come on. No, come on.
I mean, we have 5 hours to kill, and you're choosing a book and a World War II documentary. Shout out David Tominelli. My roommate would also move in a similar way, but that just can't be how you choose to spend your time.
Griffin, I was Goodwill Hunting the new Now You See Me and a couple episodes of Friends.
Well, Goodwill Hunting is more performative.
No.
I disagree.
No.
Yes,
you think you're Will Hunting.
That's just a really good movie. No. It's just a really good movie.
No. Goodwill Hunting I will not take as performative. Just because of how celebrated it is? Is that why you say it's performative?
No, the whole premise of it.
So you're saying Will is performative, the character.
Yeah.
I mean,
watching the movie.
I've heard allegedly that they didn't even write that movie themselves. Someone else wrote it.
What's it called? A Shakespeare situation?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
I've heard.
It's pretty improbable that two guys in their 20s could have written a movie like that.
Yeah, but I kind of wish they did, though, because it's almost funnier if Matt Damon wrote a movie where he made the character like this perfect nerd who always had to come back, and then he decided to play him.
Right. That's the Adam Sandler thing. He's never written a movie for himself where he's not the coolest, raddest guy.
Yeah, he has
like
the hottest wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seriously. See, there was no hot wife transition that was going to be safe for WFUV
I have a transition.
Okay.
I do feel like when comparing here and comparing the Fan Fest last night, they do feel similar. Like the Fan Fest and the Media Day both have an overwhelming vibe to them and a million different booths, a million different companies. But this almost feels like the adult version of wherever we were at yesterday, in a way.
It does. I mean, last night when we went to the Fan Fest, they had all the kind of activities you would expect. They had the football toss, the kids playing flag football. You could kick a field goal. You could go run routes. But I wanted to do those activities.
We'll get you.
But like the drawback was like I would have gotten in line and I would have been in the middle of a bunch of 8-year-olds doing the same activity.
Or
Right.
the line was also just like 5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But I would tell you to be you.
Go have fun, kid.
Yeah, being ashamed of yourself at Super Bowl?
It's not being ashamed of myself. It's being. It's not wanting to take the experience from the kids.
I think everyone in our group, the 6 of us here, should run the 40-yard dash. That's,
I agree
that's
with
minimum. We need everyone running the 40-yard dash.
Joe Henry was making
Joe Henry is
excuses
off
yesterday.
camera screaming about how much he wants to run the 40-yard dash right now. He's coming. Oh,
He's faking injury.
he's fake. Oh.
That knee is perfectly healthy.
No. You're under 4.5, I think, as well.
Is that T.O.?
If you get out quick.
Is that Terrell Owens behind us, by the way? No, right there in the tan suit.
Oh, I didn't. With the light, I can't truly see.
I cannot see his
This
face.
is very Radio Row-esque kind
Yeah.
of people around us. We've seen whether it's social media personalities, former players, current players.
Amon Ra was up there.
I mean, just on my around 3 laps I've done, I've seen Jackson Dart, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and that does not even mention the former players. I mean, it's just a ridiculous scene here at Radio Row.
It is. A lot of different booths. There's obviously the big ones. We got Bleacher Report. Shout out my company there.
Yeah.
We got Madden booth. Behind us we have DraftKings.
You got the DK and FD booths.
Don't gamble, kids, but I will be going over there to settle some scores on some parlays for sure.
And all the major companies are kind of surrounding the room, but in the inner bowl of the room, it's a lot of groups similar to us. We have Columbia here. I think we had Hofstra behind us. Arizona State's right here to our back right. Ithaca is over there as well. A lot of familiar sort of faces. Obviously not literally familiar faces, but similar people to us. Makes the whole thing a little less daunting, I feel like.
And for those Dallas listeners, 105.3, the fans here. That one's going to hit hard.
For our Dallas listeners?
For our Dallas listeners, that
Carino
one's going to hit home.
We got Seahawks radio right to the left of us.
Yes.
Ricardo Lockett was just here. He was showing off his Super Bowl ring. Brian Nemhauser, Seahawks journalist, very active on Twitter. He's over there talking. So, yeah, there's
7:10 a.m.
There's a lot of good stuff.
And Brendan got a DeMarcus Lawrence question today on the whole Dallas thing as well. We've sort of almost – we just need to go basketball. We need to get you to some sort of Hall of Fame induction thing. We already did Beltray at Cooperstown.
Yep.
We've gotten DeMarcus Lawrence done with possibility of maybe Des Bryant throughout the week. And then we need to get you in front of Dirk Nowitzki.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for the Threads activation.
Oh, yeah. We have a really elaborate Threads booth next to us as well, which is the Twitter competitor Instagram made. In general, the booths, including Bleacher Report.
These brands are pretty activated around here. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, Bleacher Report and Pat McAfee are the ones we're looking at from where we're sitting, and it's just so elaborate. It's indicative of the country we live in, but it's just such a spectacle. It truly makes you proud to be American.
I will
it really
say,
does.
It makes me the Fan Fest though yesterday made me even more proud to be an American. Before we go to break and start with like a little bit of talk about our first impressions of San Francisco, I just want to say one thing. Chris, there's a lot of 49ers fans walking around. I was so sad.
There's a lot of 49ers fans walking around. I personally wouldn't be walking around if my team just got sent home 2 weeks ago by the team in the Super Bowl, and I
wouldn't say walking around. I'd say walking around with a jersey on.
Right, walking around repping. Like, not even, like, sure, yeah, you obviously would leave the house, depending on how embarrassed you are, but to be in full outfit, I mean, we saw the crazy Eagle fan who paints his face. He's in full Eagle gear, but that seems like his thing. That doesn't, that's more.
First round exit.
Yeah, but that's his
No,
gimmick.
but you don't care. This is a debate. Do you think, like, when you're that big, you're almost like a gimmick fan?
You have to do it.
No, but I also think, like, I would call into question
if they care,
how much he actually cares. Because at this point, it's like a job. You know what I'm saying?
But I do think it makes his job a lot easier if they're good.
I imagine he cares.
Yeah.
It's just remember the Raiders super fan that had, like, the shoulder pads with the big black spikes on them?
Do you think the Chargers super fan is here?
No.
Oh, the woman?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Apparently, she is an actual diehard Chargers fan. I know people who know her in San Diego. She's like actually a
Sources got sources.
Yeah, I got to keep those sources secret.
He knows people.
We got Joe Henry behind the board looking at a couple of things. So I was gonna send it to break, but Joe's just kind of Tucker's showing him his like Pokemon card collection or something over there. I'm not sure.
Griff,
we'll be right back.
Let me get us back on track quickly before we go to break. I just want to talk on something
Joe Henry's
briefly.
fallen for the hezzy twice now, trying to send us to break.
I wanted to talk to something briefly. It was something that really irked me yesterday. I'm a big spender. I'm a consumer. As everyone here knows, I love to spend money. I love to see things in a store and purchase them.
Things
It's
we
really
all
my
do.
goal. We went to the Superstore, the NFL Superstore yesterday here in San Francisco, and I walked out with nothing. Now, that may come off normal from a normal listener, but anyone who knows me, even 5% knows, if I'm walking into the Superstore, the NFL Superstore, with my team in the Super Bowl, the team I support, and I'm walking out with nothing, something needs to be changed. I'm not going to get into specifics out of fear of being sued, but something needs to be changed. Sports memorabilia deserves better. That's all I have.
For reference, on the trip we did to Cooperstown,
we could say who it is.
on the trip we did to Cooperstown, Chris bought multiple things every single day.
I'm not going to say the total, but it was a lot of money, and it was not all fanatic stuff.
I was just going to say, there's a lot.
Let me just say that.
I was going to say, Chris is a very fanatical buyer of things.
All right.
And he wasn't really enjoying it, is what we'll say. But really quickly, we'll send it to break. We'll be right back. We'll be talking our first impressions of San Francisco right after this break. Welcome back into One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. And Chris, Brendan, you guys look a little different. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what happened. Chris, you got a little taller.
Yes.
Brendan.
Brendan got way taller.
Yeah, Brendan.
Some are saying Brendan's 5'8".
Oh, my gosh.
The
Shots
streets are
are
saying
flying.
Brendan's
We've been on air
5'8".
20 seconds.
But
coming in hot.
of course, this is our illustrious sports manager, Joe Henry, and then our illustrious supervising producer, Owen Kelty. We're going to break down a little bit our first impressions of San Francisco. I think we got to start with we got off the plane, and we got off the plane, and the weather was amazing.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, I know what you're leading us towards, which would be In-N-Out. Many of us had our first In-N-Out experience yesterday. That was spiritual for me personally, but before then, to get to In-N-Out, for maybe the first time in a long time, I was happy to be sweaty by the time I walked through those doors, because you get out and you're like, whoa. Past week and a half, feels like exactly 0 degrees outside in New York. It's been absolutely brutal. And then you step outside of the airport, and it's 70 and sunny. And not only that, the architecture around the landscape, the rolling hills and the buildings on hills, it's like nothing I'd ever seen in America before. I'd never been west of St. Louis, so maybe I didn't have enough of a reference point there. But immediately it's just, whoa, such a different environment, and in the best way as well. And it's worth saying, I think, having a Super Bowl in the Bay Area is tricky because it's the San Francisco 49ers. Their stadium's in Santa Clara. One of the teams is staying in Santa Clara. The other team is staying in San Jose, which is next to Santa Clara. We're staying in Daly City. So after you do the shuttle to Santa Clara, then to San Jose, then you take a shuttle back up to San Francisco, then we're going to end up in Daly City. There's a lot of cities.
So many
in the Bay Area.
sands. So many sands. That's like Jerry
so many
Seinfeld
cities.
impression. So many sands.
So many sands. And so it makes for a challenge logistically to credit everyone who's worked to put this week together. It's gone very smoothly, both for us at FUV, but also with the transportation that they provide and also the communication. But I think it's worth noting a unique aspect of this Super Bowl is just it's very geographically different from any other location you could possibly put a Super Bowl in. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because we've gotten to see some really, really cool places and really unique places.
Our drive in the morning.
You just can't say that for any other site for a Super Bowl.
Our morning drive as the sun was rising. Our morning Uber to Santa Clara Marriott. Yeah.
The moon last night, unbelievable.
Yeah, the moon was something.
It's orange.
Almost unreal.
It's almost because the moon's fake, but we don't have to get into that right now. But with all the travel we're doing, it means you really got to shout out the movie we watched last night. Shout out the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, yeah, shout out.
He was killing people all over California. That was a lot of travel to keep getting away.
Yeah,
shout out the guy. Shout out the guy, because that was really impressive.
We don't know the guy. That's the whole movie we watched.
That's why we're shouting him out, obviously. But California is
He would love
awesome.
you, dude. He would.
He'd be a great
The
guest.
Zodiac would call into one-on-one.
He would call in. He'd be an awesome guest.
Let's not like throw that out there.
No, but he would. That's like his whole thing.
If the Zodiac Killer is alive, call in, please. We want to talk. But no, California's awesome. We're coming from New York. It's -2 there right now. All right, it feels like it's -2. You come here, 65 feels like you're on a beach in the middle of the Jersey Shore, and you're sweating, and it's awesome. And about 5 months ago, when I heard that it was going to be 90 degrees, I'd probably cry that I'd have to go outside and be 105. Now, 70 degrees, and it's like polar opposites. But California's been awesome being here, San Francisco. Commute is a little rough. They have things everywhere, but it's a cool city. Everything feels like, I don't know, it's just kind of awesome. It's not like a place it's not like New York City at all. It feels so much more open and enjoyable, and the Giants Stadium is sick.
Yeah,
In-N-Out's terrible. Also,
I'm curious, as someone who's been to San Francisco before.
It was good until it was not good.
Your impression of how the city's embraced the Super Bowl has been, and also your just general thoughts on having the Bay Area be the locale for the big game.
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit. I love the Bay Area. I could definitely see myself and honestly hope that I would be living here at some form of my life, some stage of my life. But I'm happy about it for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, I just love that the Niners are hosting the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, right? Like, nothing better than that. But for a location, first of all, the weather, great. Amazing outside. It's almost perfect weather. Also, granted, I think we're a little spoiled coming from New York City, but public transportation-wise, though, here it's still pretty rock solid. We took like the old-timey trolley yesterday, and there's a lot of cool stuff to see. There's a lot of history.
you don't get that same subway experience. You know, the stench that you really get when you're on the subway. You don't get that here, and that just makes it much better.
Yeah,
makes
that's
it better.
true.
City might be a little faster, but doesn't smell as bad.
Yeah.
So I think you gotta take that. Take a win wherever you can get it, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I think this is a very big sports city. So their fans definitely
Their fans have shown out so far too.
Yeah.
You fortunately them, and
There-
not a lot of Seahawks fans, not a lot of Patriots
There's
fans.
some Eagles fans here, a lot of Eagles fans here that I noticed, and I was having
What
a
are you talking about?
conversation. Actually, I'm wondering how many Eagles fans there are that are here in their Eagles jerseys. Like, I wonder if some of them were just like, we're going back to back,
They just
and
assumed.
booked like non-refundable flights,
Ooh.
and they're like, all right, I guess we gotta go.
Every Eagles jersey I see, I have an intrinsic thought to fight them. Like I just want
Okay,
to, I just want to fight them or yell at them.
There was a kind of funny moment last afternoon. There's across from this convention center, which is for media, there's a fan experience convention center that's really well done, actually. And I think we touched upon it a little bit in the last segment, but just so many activities for fans and a lot of NFL history just within one building. But right outside the building, there are gigantic versions of every single NFL helmet. So, each of us have our allegiances. We stepped inside our own helmet. Or rather, kind of crawled inside. I kind of threw it my back a little. I
Had to
woke up
have
this
really
morning,
good
was
core
not feeling
strength. You're
good.
getting in there.
It was a difficult time. But there was some moments in front of the Dallas Cowboys helmet, which is so funny because, and Brendan's looking at me right now, so I feel weird saying this, but they're such an irrelevant team this year. The fact that despite that, with the Eagles in the playoffs, with the Niners being the host city and the Seahawks being in the Super Bowl, with the Patriots being as hated as they've been the past 25 years, that it was in front of the Cowboys helmet that there were a lot of these shenanigans and people saying and doing some not very nice things, gesticulating a little.
Brendan, did you watch Friends on the flight not because we were going to San Francisco and you wanted to get the vibe, but because you wanted to watch something that took place in a time where the Cowboys were good?
Oh, wow.
Brendan said it was the vibe.
All right.
Oh, God. It does take
Oh,
place in
you're way off.
That's
Not
Full
even
House.
close.
It still takes place in the 90s, so the joke sort of works.
Yeah, I mean the location really didn't matter for the joke because
Yeah.
we're not in Texas right now. So I don't know why he was
Well,
talking about
neither
it.
are Dallas Cowboys fans.
True. They're in New Jersey. They're all over
Oh
New
my
Jersey.
gosh.
You can't escape them. I mean, you might be the only Dallas Cowboy fan from Dallas.
Brendan,
That's
There are some of them from
That's
Oakland too,
crazy.
or some other places.
yeah, Brendan's giving a little shrug. After we left the fan experience, like I mentioned, we took the trolley. We went to Fisherman's Wharf. We had a great little just like sit down. It was a sourdough. It was a bakery. San
Had a
Francisco.
lot of sourdough.
Yeah, a
A
lot of
A lot
sourdough.
of
sourdough
dough
I didn't
here.
know
Very
they were
doughy.
doing that.
Very doughy city.
I got a
Yeah.
chicken sandwich before the
It's
show, and
interesting.
it was on a sourdough.
They
Yeah,
love
I didn't
their
know this was
dough.
the sourdough city. Every city's got their thing.
The
I didn't
sourdough
know-
capital of the world.
Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I just
Oh,
made
you
that
just
up.
made that
But
up.
I'm saying that should be what it's called.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they're like, oh.
Everything
sourdough? It's like,
everything
no.
about our experience in California so far it's been very aesthetically pleasing, and it has almost been too surreal to feel real, and that we were waiting for like something to go dramatically wrong. That we get out here and everything's beautiful and everything. The weather is absolutely perfect, and everything on our end in terms of setting up has gone so well. But I think that speaks to the location in general, being in San Francisco for the Super Bowl. Like there's certain cities that you would call like this is a football city, like Green Bay, Buffalo, like this is a football town. This
Yeah.
is what we do. San Francisco, you got multiple sports, but I think as indicated by the amount of fans and also the way that the city is kind of mobilized for this event and the way that the event clashes really well with the local geology and all that, has made San Francisco a destination.
Yeah.
No, we're going again.
I guess that we can talk about where we're.
No, we're going again.
I guess that we can talk about where we're staying. 'Cause that's where we went next. We're kind of staying not really in between. I think we're closer to downtown San Francisco than we are to Santa Clara.
We are, yeah.
We're next to the same thing the 49ers facilities next
We
to
have,
us.
we have a little substation next to us.
Yeah.
We thought we'd get in on the conspiracy and the experience. So far, the tendons are feeling all right.
Tendons are feeling
They're okay.
good. But we're in a nice little neighborhood. I love the hills. We're in a
Do we love the hills? That walk last night was not as enjoyable.
yeah.
Things we all don't love.
Oh, I
The
like the
hills.
hills. I'm used to it from where I'm
It's
from.
the sound of music. The hills are alive.
My favorite part about the the place that we're staying so far, besides just the location and how nice it is outside, whatever. Inside, if you go inside the apartment, you got your little kitchen, you got your living room. We watched a movie last night, but then take a peek down the hallway, and you find what I've been calling the sports manager suite. And boy, life sure is sweet out here in California for only me and no one else.
The sports manager suite. I slept on underneath the kitchen table last night. Brendan Shoy slept on a rug.
I slept on the couch.
And Griffin slept on the couch. The sports manager has a suite, but the rest of us are. I was using a chair as a blanket last night. That's how bad it got.
But Owen and I were the first two awake, so that
yeah,
shows you
it
who
shows
the real
great.
The
grit and grinders of the world. The two, the guys that were like, what? Yeah, I mean, come on. 16-hour days, is that first shift ever? Please.
We've been having some bad Uber drivers this trip.
No, I love our Uber driver this morning. No, I'll fight you on this one.
He was taking those corners a little wide.
That's how I drive. I saw him cut off like 4 drivers, and I said, that is how I would be doing it right now.
I almost got
no mirror check.
We almost rear-ended a dude on the way to
that
JFK.
guy was not locked out.
That was bad.
He also took like 4 wrong turns, just trying to cut off the traffic, and he just kept adding time.
Oh, also another aspect of our travel. Can we talk about Chris Carino's suitcase?
It's bigger than him.
Has a galactic-sized suitcase.
You could fit him and 2 of him inside of it.
Your team's in the Super Bowl.
I will call you when my team's in the Super Bowl.
This is very particular.
I won't bring a suitcase the size of me.
Can we break down what 4 hats?
4 Seahawks hats.
4 hats that went into my backpack. There may have been more. I just took them and put them into my backpack into my backpack from the suitcase because the suitcase was too heavy initially. There's a lot of hats, and that raises a broader discussion point. I don't know if this is the time to tackle that. But how many hats is too many?
Because you can't even wear that many. He's not going to be able to wear that many
one
hats.
hat at once. It's not like you can only wear a hat once.
And you can't wear the Seahawks hat
or something like that. It's not like it's a T-shirt or underwear. So that's where I'm not here to judge. But here I am on a live stream judging.
The 7 hats to Cooperstown.
That's a lot of hats.
The Hat Man. That's who I see it. That's who I see in my sleep.
Yeah, the Hat Man.
I see the Hat Man. I take a little bit too much NyQuil. It's Chris Carino in my room with the Seahawks hat
Yeah, if you're
on.
a little sick, you got a cold. You see
Chris with the hat on.
7 Seahawks hats high. There's a children's book that. What's the kids book with the cap? The dude with the caps.
The Cat in the Hat.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's supposed to be like a horror story. Yeah.
No, it's not really a horror. It's like a Roald Dahl book. He's got all it's almost like a. It's not like the Giving Tree, but it's in like the same dude. I think he has a bunch of caps that he stacks on top of each other.
Is he like
I'm so lost?
I never entertainer? Or is he a
that stack caps on heads?
There's literally no way that yields.
That is going to give
a
the
correct
answer.
result.
Oh my God, it did.
More caps for sale, dude.
I've never. Wait, show me the cover. That must be like
That's
a
Carino.
Seattle. That must be a Seattle
More
book.
caps for sale. I've literally never heard of that in my life.
It's
Wow.
Carino. Chris Carino's the more caps for sale guy.
It all comes full circle, doesn't it? I don't know what circle we fold, but it's a full circle.
I don't know what circle we fold. Well, speaking of circle, let's make our first full rotation. Let's welcome Tucker Austin into the mix here. Assistant sports manager making the trip in his senior year. Tucker, take it away, bud.
Tapping out for Joe.
We've lost him.
Thought you were going to rotate out Griffin.
I thought I was going to
we'll
rotate out
take
too,
this.
but
Hello.
How we doing?
How is
How we
everybody
feeling?
doing? It's great to be here.
Tucker, you eagerly wanted to come on to this segment. Is there a reason
Very
why?
excited.
Yeah, well, this is the San Francisco segment, like the general impressions segment, and I wanted to give a little bit of my 2 cents on the experience too. I figured it'd be worth it. I've been super impressed by San Francisco. I've never been to California before going on this trip. Now flying across country. It's a long flight, but mentally, I think you find a way to make it worth it because of where you're going.
100%.
And once we stepped off the plane, you feel it immediately. I think it was because it was cold back in the Bronx, and it was 65 when we got off the plane here. That was a big part of it, but it just felt a little bit different. There's something about the air. I don't know what it was.
It's the aura.
But it definitely does. There wasn't as much smog in the air as I was expecting.
The smog makes it feel different. Makes it feel better.
I'll leave that for LA, but I still got to see Los Angeles to know for sure. Still, though, I think San Francisco is just such a pretty city. A lot of great architecture in this city. I'm a big architecture guy.
Doofenshmirtz Tower.
There is a tower that looks exactly
I
like
mean,
Doofenshmirtz.
the Transamerica Pyramid is a really nice looking building. But we also got to see when we went on that streetcar trip last night. We got to see the Port of San Francisco, all the piers. We saw the Pier 1 Tower, which was really, really cool. I've just been also the rolling hills. The fact that they haven't been able to like develop the areas around the downtown and all like the hilly areas to be like multiple stories. Most of them are just like 2-story or 1-story buildings, and it's sprawl for miles in every direction.
They're also big. It's like super bowled out.
What is it?
What's the first Pier 1?
The Pier 1 building that we saw had like lights displayed on the side, and there was a Super Bowl sign outside you could take pictures in front of. That was really cool looking.
Oracle Park.
Oracle Park was a little
beautiful.
decked out. It's such a pretty ballpark.
I need to see that. I need to kayak out there. It has such an old feel to it. It's like more than like
for
I
like
feel
a relatively new stadium.
Like,
it's a very
it gives such
old
you think all you can think about is like watching a baseball game in like the 70s, and you're like Oracle Park.
Or like watching Willie Mays.
You go to Fenway and you're like,
it
it doesn't give off the same feel. I feel like as the Giants stadium. That place. With all the trees decorated too, it was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it really was. We were talking about that. I think we've just had a very overall positive experience with this city so far, and I'm glad, because honestly, I think, no bias here, but I couldn't have picked a better location to go to for our trip than
Miami,
than some of the recent ones. I think I'd prefer the Big Frisco.
Really?
Mine
so
would have been Vegas.
Over New Orleans last year.
Yeah.
I would prefer Vegas. Vegas would have been
prior.
sick, I think.
Maybe,
I-
but
That's more on a personal level that I would have enjoyed Vegas. Well, me and Brendan would have loved Vegas.
we got it.
Glaring up on these over here.
We got DraftKings behind us, so
I do. Speaking of New Orleans, though,
Don't let me gamble here.
I want to shout out Will Talon because he was in the YouTube chat, and he was talking about Joe and his manager's suite and how he did a nice job setting that suite aside for himself. Setting that room aside for himself.
It's better than the hardwood floor.
Shout out the whole crew from
Floor's not even that
from
hard,
last
though.
year that put it together in New Orleans. We're following in the footsteps a little bit this year, but obviously much different with it being in a completely different place. Longer flight, easily longer flight. But yeah, I'm just I'm really. Oh, dude, last night I had a Dungeness crab sandwich on sourdough bread. That's like it might be the San Francisco like food staple just to get on the fly.
Yeah, Brendan Shorey's got 2 donuts at JFK, and it's really been making me want a donut this whole trip. I think
He got one today, too.
This guy can't escape the donuts.
Donut guy.
Did he order the donuts?
No, Chris
Carino
got him a
got
donut at Carino got him a donut at a deli we went to for breakfast, and then gave it to Brendan.
Big
They
time
just
donut
kept
guy.
the bit going.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get a donut
I see
tomorrow.
Professor Favorito just flying through the center right now, locked
Joe
in.
Fav has been
on the phone.
That is really funny that you guys saw one of your professors.
I see him right now. I'm watching him just fly right through the convention center. Oh, he's coming over here. Not over here, but he's coming over this way.
Been moving around.
He's locked in. Great guy.
Great
One of my
guy.
favorite professors.
He's got a place to
at
be.
Fordham.
Oh, he was tracking down a man. This is a live Favorito spotting.
Yeah, just so
Firm handshake here as he exposes the gap. Oh, he stops. His body language. He's absolutely dominating the person he's talking to in this conversation right now.
Unreal handshake. It's the
I'm trying to think,
handshake.
what else do I want to comment on from stuff you guys have already talked about? The fan spread has been pretty significantly in favor of the Seahawks so far.
Saw Titans
but,
jersey.
we expect the Patriots to show up a little bit more towards the end of the week. But
working class people.
Seahawks fans are definitely involved early on. We've just been bumping into random fans who start talking to us because we're just a group of 6 guys wearing Super Bowl merch. Some of us are. I bought this hat yesterday.
I got the Super Bowl Bucky Irving.
At the store that Carino
Reversible Bucky Irving
couldn't square.
Yeah, Carino couldn't find something as a fan.
Couldn't find
the
something
the 2 guys who are here on bias,
blame
they
you,
found some
Chris,
stuff.
because
3 guys.
I totally agree with you on that, though. That store was really underwhelming to the point where you found a sweatshirt at a trailer later on, when we were out in downtown San Francisco, that had a merch item that was literally just way better than anything you'd found in the store previously. So,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. The Bucky Irving is pretty sick, though. Everything is very expensive, though. They know their clientele, but I think if you look at the fans that are here, you could argue I think we've seen almost one of every fan base. Because even the lowest ones, I don't know, maybe.
I've even seen people walk around in Titans jerseys.
I don't think I've seen Jacksonville.
There's a whole Raiders booth over there somewhere.
Seen a lot of
for
Raiders
like a Raiders
fans.
radio network.
I think
so
Jags are the only ones.
That's
I've
the
seen Jets,
that's the
I've
worst
seen
team
Titans,
in the league from this
Giants,
year, so.
Browns. I'm thinking of the worst teams.
I don't know if I've seen any Giants fans. I've seen
No,
Giants
I've seen
players.
I've seen a lot of darts jerseys.
Oh, okay.
And then, I saw Shadur. Shout out Shadur.
You saw Shadur?
No, Shadur jersey.
Oh, I thought you saw Shadur.
Bust down my AP.
I was going to be like, where? He's
But no, I've seen almost every team, and I think that's really cool, especially not in the middle of the country Super Bowl. I mean, looking at a lot of these fan bases are going to have to travel relatively far to get here.
Yeah,
especially Giants and Jets
Super
fans.
Bowl. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you knew you were not going to be playing here this year.
What's really incredible to me is how fanatical some of these NFL fans are. That they have, like, they're fans of a team that is not playing in this game, but they are still willing to make that trek, however far, likely across the country for whoever it was, like, to just come and experience all of this. But I would say now being here, I would say it's totally worth it because, like, we were at the fan experience. The fan experience was really, really cool, and there was a whole lot of stuff in the San Francisco Convention Center, like just underneath.
Yeah,
that was. I think it's like across the street from us right now, or like the eastern part of this building. But in Moscow and Center West, this is like a media heaven in here. I mean, like the fans can't get in here because they don't have credentials. This is all credentialed people only. There's like some fans who probably paid for like an extra experience, but most of the people in here are members of the media. So this is literally, it's just like us and our like associates, contemporaries, I guess you could say, all under the same roof, doing pretty much the same thing. It's a really, really cool experience.
I really like I felt like a lot of people at player and team availability were really nice.
Very chill.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll get into both of those as the show continues. But I first impression from both, I would say I originally thought that the Patriots were pretty like locked in and ready to go, but between the two, I think I'm still leaning Seahawks.
I'm leaning Seahawks to win, but I don't take that much from like the Patriots guys' answers. I think it's like no one really wants to do media, and they're just going to answer the questions with whatever. Like who really, in their heads, like nothing we say now is really going to affect how we play in the field. They believe in themselves, and I didn't get from any of their answers that they are going to this game like, oh, we got here, we're happy. Like they believe they're going to win, and they're a very good team. I do think they're schedule merchants, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as people are expecting. It's a Super Bowl. How often do we really see a Super Bowl blowout? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's the last Seahawks Super Bowl. Seahawks Broncos, the last blowout, right? Every other game's been close.
Sure that was the last
Patriots
blowout.
Rams was like the Rams during that game felt like they were never going to win.
That wasn't a blowout.
Bucks Chiefs was that game was never. But you always felt though.
Oh no, you were saying
Eagles Chiefs was a blowout. Dude.
No,
Eagles
Joe,
Chiefs
Bucks Chiefs in 2020. The Bucks won by like 3 scores.
No, but Eagles Chiefs last year was a blowout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that game I kind of fully erased that from my memory.
I know it was a very.
That was a terrible game last year. I fully forgot about that Super Bowl.
They dominated.
Wow, yeah, that game wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean it was over.
The stars aligned for Philly,
by
unfortunately.
By halftime.
As someone who despises Philly with everything in his blood, that was a horrible watching experience for me. And rooting for Mahomes always hurts, but I've rooted for him in every Super Bowl because I've never wanted the Niners to win, and I don't want the Eagles to win. So that's very disappointing.
Yeah, I've like actually had to be. I've had to root against like teams that
I guess we're claimed Mahomes guys.
It was a tough Super Bowl for me, especially because
Giants.
I mean, there was a time when I was rooting for the Chiefs because they were taking down the Patriots dynasty. But as time went on, like the Chiefs won a couple of Super Bowls, I was like, all right, I've kind of cooled off on Kansas City a little bit. But then you get into a situation where you want the Chiefs to lose out, and you also want the Eagles to lose out because I'm a Giants fan.
I can't remember
it's a division rival. I don't want
Would
them
you
to win the Super Bowl.
root for an Eagles-Patriots as a Giants fan?
Eagles. No.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Surely.
It's the right answer. It's the right answer if you're a Giants fan.
And that was peak Patriots dynasty.
When was the last time?
That was a great hate watch.
When was the last?
Either way, I won.
When was the last time there was a Super Bowl where you were like, I honestly don't care who wins?
Rams Bengals.
Yeah,
I wanted
agree with that.
Oh yeah, you guys don't have
Burrow
the
and
you guys
Chase.
don't have the Rams.
The Rams
bye.
hate it.
And
No,
also
yeah.
Odell was on the Rams, so I've been happy for either way.
I have a weird situation for that. My cousin is a Bengals fan, and he has been his whole life. So
Okay.
I wanted Stafford to win
since
too.
Andy Dalton. So I wanted the Bengals to win for the sake of my cousin, and sort of for Joe Burrow too. I like Joe Burrow a lot.
And honestly, 49ers, the last 49ers Chiefs, I wanted the Chiefs to win, but the 49ers had won, I wouldn't have been.
I'm not, dude. Last season, I didn't have really that much of a stake in Chiefs or Eagles. Even as a Giants fan, I didn't have much stake in the Eagles losing.
I was rooting for the
because
Chiefs
I wanted
heavy.
the Eagles and the Chiefs both to lose pretty much like equally. So, for me, that canceled everything out. But I guess one more thing before we go to break to note about San Francisco is probably a pretty important thing to note because it's like some of the cabs are nicknamed this, but Fog City. There is so much fog in and around the Bay Area, especially in the morning because we were up at like 6:45 today. We left the house at 6:50 to get down to media availability. But when we were driving down I-280, there was fog clouds in every single valley, and it was thick too. We drove through a little bit of it, and you couldn't really see more than like 10, 15-ish feet in front of your car. It was absolutely insane. Something I have not really experienced except on really rare occasions. But, I mean, it seems to me that it happens, like, pretty much every day here.
Yeah. It's been a long day so far. But I think just the general vibe of this Super Bowl and the excitedness of what we're doing. Also, why is there a guy in full USC gear, like with pads and everything?
Yeah, I saw him earlier. There's a guy, he's in a USC
Unless
jersey.
He goes to USC.
There's no way he's in a commercial.
No, they were recording him.
It's
before.
a USC jersey with no name on the back. It's 26, which is what they were using in the media center for like it's this year. It's 2026, so all the jerseys said 26 on them. But he's wearing a USC Trojans jersey.
Have to do with Darnold?
It has a Pac-12 patch on the side.
Maybe.
They haven't been in the Pac-12 in years.
Maybe it's something to do with like Darnold. They're doing some promotional thing.
Like from
is he over there still?
Way back?
No, he walked away, but yeah.
Either way.
Not sure. It's pretty. They were recording him. He was yelling a lot. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest person you've seen? Like, who's the favorite person you've seen? Like the one you've been like, oh wow, that's
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Justin Jefferson in the Madden tent, so I think that he's probably the one for me. Although if I had
Jackson
seen,
Dart,
I was going to say, if I see Jackson Dart, he's immediately taken
the number one. But
first
Jamar
overall.
Chase right now.
Oh, we saw Philly Sports Guy
Yeah.
earlier. That's a good shout.
I think Cam Newton.
I haven't seen him.
So
Cam
the
Newton
season
was
is
recording over there. I was joking because we see a dude sitting down and recording.
Cookies?
We see a dude recording a show, and he's just got the most ludicrous hat on, and he's not looking at us. I'm like, Chris, is that Cam Newton? And Chris is like, dude, who else would have
that hat on?
Chris Carino would.
Yeah.
He would, yeah.
Hats for sale.
Carino and Cam Newton should have a podcast where they just talk hats.
Yeah.
I think that would go well.
That'd be good.
Some commotion going on.
Talk about
over
different
there.
brims.
With that, though, I think we can probably kick it to another break here.
Yeah, we'll send it to break. When we are back, hopefully we'll have a very special guest waiting for you. Ideally. If not, we will go straight into our Patriots team availability talk. We'll be right back on the other end of this break.
Welcome back inside the Moscow and West Center in San Francisco. One-on-one, New York's longest-running sports call-in show, hitting the road and going over to the West Coast for Super Bowl 60. Joe Henry here with Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey. Look, we've gone on long enough about the sights and sounds of San Francisco and our experience here as people our first 24 hours in the great state of California. But let's start talking some football, and we're going to start on the Patriots side. Media availability today, this morning, 8 a.m. for the Patriots, and the Seahawks went after them at their respective hotels. We're going to start on the New England side, guys. Mike Vrabel and Stephon Diggs available for a press conference comment, and then 10 players up on podiums, including Drake May, and then the entire rest of the roster available to the media at tables as well. One is kind of a spectacle, one of few sporting events where every single player on a team, no less a football team with 53 guys, is going to be available for comment, and the entire coaching staff. So one, that was crazy. But two, just to kind of start breaking things down, let's start with Mike Vrabel, first press conference. Head coach, we talked about the kind of perception that we got from him and then from Mike McDonald as well, and we'll tackle that in the next segment. But starting with Mike Vrabel, Brendan, what was your main takeaway from the comments that he had?
He's super focused. He doesn't want to overwork his players. It's on this extra week of preparation they have. But I think the main thing I got away from that was just how much he trusts Drake May to kind of do his own thing in terms of recovery and that type of thing, know the game plan, and then go out and execute.
Yeah, I mean, what I mentioned it a little bit in the first segment. What I got from Vrabel was like a little bit more confidence than McDonald, but I think that could just be chalked up to what McDonald's kind of just is like usually. From Vrabel, though, I really liked that his focus on trying to keep their routine as it usually is, but also not trying to be too repetitive. Like, he's trying to mix some things up and keep the guys mentally fresh, but physically still used to the routine of getting ready for a game. It's an interesting tightrope that Vrabel has to walk, but I think, at least from what he's told us, he seems to be doing a good job so far of that, and hasn't really expressed any concerns or struggles with trying to build that schedule. Also, what we got from Vrabel was to be pretty intentional with that schedule as well. Know what you're going to do and have a plan going into every single day. Honestly, this stuff is pretty generic in terms of everybody does this when they go to a Super Bowl. But I think it's extremely important when you have a first-year head coach with that team. Obviously, Vrabel been with the Titans before, but this is his first year with the Patriots, and he's saying all the right things for a guy who's in his first year with the organization, has taken this team all the way to the Super Bowl. And he's been doing all the right things too. Let's talk a little bit about this Patriots team. To go 14-3, this being a game away from the #1 overall pick. The turnaround that Mike Vrabel has engineered under second-year quarterback Drake May has been nothing short of remarkable, and Chris Carino joins us now. Your thoughts on that, Chris? The turnaround that the Patriots had this year?
The Vrabel talk I thought was interesting. Oh, sorry, that's my bad. Hey, guys. I thought the Vrabel talk was interesting. Obviously, a bit of a different character than Belichick, but has almost he has more Belichick in him than I think the national media will give him credit for. Even at one point, one of the reporters was over here, and he was like, I don't know where over here is. It's that's such a Belichick thing to say. I think Patriot fans like the slightly more outgoing side of Vrabel, but do like that he is about his business.
It's almost like a perfect storm where he has so much Belichick in him, but he's done just enough to correct the Belichickisms that go over the line where you're like, oh, this guy's so impersonable. He's so unlikable. He's way too serious all the time. He doesn't show a lick of personality. He's not even he's not being verbal in his communication with the media. He's not this guy who only says do your job. He's not exactly doing that part of his job. Mike Vrabel addresses those exact concerns while still being this serious guy. Yeah. I think maybe part of that is that he was a player and he's younger, one, but also it's so much easier and more natural for him to relate to players and it comes across in the way that he talks about his guys in the press.
Yeah, that relatability I feel like both teams' head coaches have. I think both head coaches do a good job of being kind of player coaches. And also just one more kind of aspect of it, Joe. Obviously, Vrabel has that experience as a player, hasn't necessarily experienced it as a coach. Guys like Stephon Diggs haven't played in a Super Bowl but have so much experience. Is the lack of Super Bowl experience overrated, Joe? I'll give it back to Brendan. Thank you.
They asked Mike Vrabel about what he recalls from his experience in the Super Bowl. Of course, this is a matchup between two teams that have plenty of experience, but overall have really barely played in the Super Bowl at all, let alone a high level. Both of these teams weren't expected to be in the postseason this year. Vrabel is a Super Bowl champion, and he was a Super Bowl champion with New England, and he can break some records by winning a Super Bowl as the head coach of this franchise as well. But he said, I honestly don't really remember that much from the Super Bowl, not that much that I can pass off onto my guys. And as Tucker was saying, I think one of the things that stuck out to me was it's a 2-week stretch. You have your bye week, but it's also the most important game you're ever going to play. So how do you keep a mix of let's stay focused and just prepare like any other week and make sure we're doing our job, because our job has gotten us this far to be, 17-3 on the season, including the postseason. But also, how do we keep things fresh so that players are not losing any faith in the process?
I think you, like you mentioned, kind of stick to a very similar routine as you had in season. But you have 2 weeks. You don't have to wear these guys down as if you only have a week to prepare like you do in the regular season. You have those extra few days. So you could honestly treat it like 2 different game weeks. You could go through week 1, give them some time off on the weekend like they would normally have, back at it the next week, stay in some sort of routine, or their minds are able to stay sharp, stay fresh, but you're still being able to hammer down everything you need to get down.
Yeah, it's clear that the Patriots have been practicing consistently over the course of both the week they had off and now this week. We found out in the Seahawks with Mike McDonald that they have not been fully practicing until today, but the Patriots have been practicing this whole time. I got a chance to ask Ramondre Stevenson about that that practice schedule and if he's doing anything outside of team practices to keep his legs fresh on his own, and he said he didn't have to. They've been doing so much practicing and training as a unit, as a team, that he doesn't really have to look after himself when they're away from the team. That allows players to get more time to mentally unwind. Another piece of information I got from Stevenson was that he's spending a lot of time with his family because he's from the area. So, when you get all that work done in practice as a team together, not only do you build that chemistry as a unit, all working together towards that common goal at the same time, but then everyone also gets to kind of take that time to themselves, more time individually, to sort of wind down and allow yourself to decompress a little bit. One of the biggest aspects of getting ready for a Super Bowl that at least that we've heard from players is trying not to think about the game. Right. Because you can think about 100 different things and different scenarios, what could and couldn't go wrong during the game itself. But that really starts to eat at you all the way up until you actually get to the game itself. So I just think that the Patriots system seems very, very functional for them to put on a really good performance on Sunday.
Absolutely. More Patriots talk coming up soon. We're going to step aside for a quick break. You're listening to One on One.
We just get you on a headset, Baldy. Okay. Guys, this is Brian Baldinger. Brendan did color with me all year on football. What's up, Brendan? Brendan also you listen to your air raps.
Go to break, Carino.
We got Brian Baldinger.
Go to break, Carino.
No.
You also went to one screen instead of two. Yeah, I don't know why it did.
You got to mute the mics.
back here at Radio Row. Chris Carino, and I'm joined, Brendan Shorey, who's been joining me all year for Fordham football. But the special guest is our guest, Brian Baldinger. Brian Baldinger from NFL Network, former NFL offensive lineman. If the one thing of his resume I'd like to give is I don't know if anyone cares about the game as much as you do. Not necessarily follows it, loves it, but you care about the game more than anybody. This kind of week, it must be like Disneyland.
No, it is. It's it's the finish line, Chris. But it is, like I just saw Christian McCaffrey, Von Miller, and Jackson Dart. Those
Jackson's
are
behind us right now.
I mean, he's got a following. But, this is like the who's who of the NFL. And honestly, all these guys understand sort of their place in this business. But I have a little bigger perspective going back a lot further. Brothers all played. And so it's important to your question. It's important the health of the game and that we preserve the game and that, the next generation of kids, even younger than you, Chris, can come up and enjoy the game the way we enjoyed the game.
Absolutely.
And so I think, really understanding like the way the guys play it, how they play it, when you play it well, it's and in the way Seattle and New England has coached it and the way that they present it, I think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned before we kind of got on air a couple of things you did today. You're with NFL Network over there on a show this morning. I know you call football with Chris's dad. Can you just walk us through all the things you do football related? Because there is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could fully list it all.
Yeah, I don't know if you have enough time. Here's the thing is that I basically spend 50 hours a week, 15 hours every Monday and 15 on Tuesday, and maybe 10 or more on Wednesday and Thursday, just watching every game. And so once you get the kernels of everything that happened during the week, whether it was a missed call, whether it was a good technique, whether it was a winning touchdown throw, whether it's Caleb throwing it to Cole Kmet in the end zone to go to overtime, it just sort of is a fresh salad every week. And then I distribute it to a lot of outlets, whether it's Odyssey Radio or Compass Media or the NFL Network, or if it's a college football network, I just distribute it throughout, All City Sports, so I feel like I can talk accurately about what happened to all these different networks.
And the Baldy breakdowns, I feel like, are maybe the biggest part of the puzzle. Baldy breakdowns on all social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter as well. You're massive on Twitter. How did you start doing the breakdowns, and what keeps you doing them now, so many years later?
The feedback keeps you going because people are watching.
Right.
Owners are watching. Coaches are watching. The players, the former players.
Sorry, Leonard Williams was tweeting back at you after the Seattle one from a couple weeks ago.
But I walked into the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and Jackie Slater is walking in, Hall of Fame right tackle from the Rams. And he just, kind of bumps everybody out of the way, and he goes, Baldy, I just want to thank you for what you do and how you do it. There wasn't anybody like me doing that when they played.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, Chris, because I'll tell you how it started in a second, but what's interesting is Von Miller can have a Hall of Fame career, but he feels like his game wasn't that good unless he got a breakdown from me. They want the validation.
Of course.
They could get the money and the attention and the contract and maybe on a highlight reel somewhere, but if I'm doing their breakdown, they know they got validated for what they did that week.
Street cred, if you will.
Street cred. So that's cool, but I used to do a show called The Aftermath in the LA at the NFL Network on Monday mornings, and I was there with Daniel Jeremiah, who's our draft analyst for the NFL. And we had a show at 12 o'clock. That's 12 to 3 every Monday. And I just wanted to watch as much games as I could. So I'd get in there at 4 in the morning, would study it. And I just started, putting my camera up and just showing some unique play or whatever. And it just sort of caught on. And the more I did it, the more people wanted me to do it. And then pretty soon you couldn't just do Seattle and New England. You had to do the bad teams.
All 32.
Yeah. So then it was like, oh, how am I going to find the time to do all this? So you just carved out the time. You see me after games on the West Coast. I don't have a red eye until 11. I might as well just stay in their stadium for 4 or 5 hours.
I've had the opportunity to be with you twice this year. The one time that really blew my mind was we were Kansas City. You had a later flight, and we were waiting for the place to let out. You don't want to be in the traffic. It's so crazy getting out of Kansas City. And you just got a couple chicken fingers from the cafeteria, put your computer down, and you were ready for a couple hours. You were just going to get into it.
I'm there with the cleaning people, cleaning up the grounds. Until the lights almost go off sometimes. But I got to jump, I got a chance to kind of watch the 1 o'clock games and get a head start on the week's work.
Speaking of when you call football, you use these different like fun phrases.
Yeah.
And one of the big ones that when I was learning how to become a better color commentator this year, and Chris would use it for me as an example, Batman Kapow or Kapow like Batman.
Yeah.
How do you kind of come up with stuff like that?
Here's the thing. Honestly, this is how I do it. So, like I said, I spend a lot of time.
By the way, that one's so fun and descriptive as well. It does both in such a great way.
But honestly, like I spend most of Monday and Tuesday by myself in a dark room watching these games. And I feel like if I can entertain myself, then maybe Brendan and maybe Chris, like you guys would be entertained as well. And so, like, I'm sort of the litmus test. If I'm laughing at these things that are just coming out, like, I don't know, I named Max Crosby, I gave him a nickname, the Condor, and it just stuck. And so I nicknamed Buda Baker, I gave him a nickname. And, and like nicknames come out and phrases come out, but I don't know the genesis. They just come out.
Yeah, and you're living in it because you're doing so much preparation that you feel it's so authentic when you're doing that as well. Just one more thing, Baldy, because we know you're busy. You're running around constantly. The big game on Sunday, Seahawks, Patriots. There's a lot of very common themes and common things that everyone's talking about, the same kind of 15 or 20 talking points. What's one thing on Sunday everyone at home on the couch can maybe pay attention to and impress the people around them from a football,
I would say this. I would say that one of the reasons why these two teams are here is they might be the two best tackling teams in the NFL. Like if you watch Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, Carlton Davis in the open field, or Imanwari and Devin Witherspoon, you watch these guys tackle, when they hit the guy with the ball, the play ends. They don't miss tackles. And tackling is kind of one of these things where I don't know how you work on it. Teams don't really practice with full pads. But there's some teams where you could tell it's really emphasized. And I feel like as the game evolves and changes, tackling is kind of a lost art in some places. These two teams tackle very well. And you'll see it on TV. It'll jump out.
That'll make some people sound a lot smarter about the game than they are. And just finally, prediction?
Yeah, well, I mean, not just because
I don't want
to
put you on the spot.
Not just because you're here, Chris, but like when the seedings came out January 4th, right? And we were in Philadelphia doing the Eagles game against Washington, that last game of the season. The seedings came out that night, and Seattle was the number one seed. They beat San Francisco. And I saw the seedings and I saw the pairings starting for Wild Card Week, and I said Seattle's going to win it. Like, you had to go through Seattle, which was going to be tough for anybody, and it was. And then if you get Seattle against anybody here at the Levi on Sunday, I thought their defense could help carry them. But obviously the way Sam played in the NFC Championship game, maybe played his best game ever. I thought they're the most complete team.
Thank you, Baldy, for the time. Appreciate it.
Chris.
Brian Baldinger
Very nice to meet you.
at Radio Row. We'll be right back with WFUV Sports.
back here in California. More one-on-one live from San Francisco, the Moscow and West Center for Super Bowl 60. Joe Henry here with Owen Kelty, Tucker Austin. You just heard from Brian Baldinger. And now we're going to segue back into Patriots ball. We talked a little bit about the availability that was this morning. We talked a bit about what Mike Vrabel had to say and the kind of overall spunk that he brings to this revived Patriots unit. But now we want to talk personnel. All 53 guys were made available for us to speak to, and I think we got to maybe 40 of them. We were able to talk to a bunch of them guys. Overall thoughts on how the players seemed, and also maybe some individual thoughts on guys you talked to that had some really interesting insights or stories.
Really, Kelty, was I muted?
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Your mic was muted.
Oh,
for that first statement that you made.
Yeah, it was just me commenting on the Baldy interview as Joe was trying to do the same. Whatever. Either way, we can get into the Pats. We want to get Pats players a little bit, right? Yeah. Stephon Diggs had the presser right after Vrabel. Yeah, he wore a sweatshirt that said "I need a hug," although he did not.
Did not want one.
Very awkwardly, a reporter said, "I need a hug too," and Diggs said, "I don't need one. Don't give me. Don't touch me."
Don't touch me.
You can make some backhanded comments about that statement, but we won't.
That was really funny. Everybody in the room laughed. Everybody was laughing. It was a good time. You know,
it's
lighthearted fun.
Overall, really with both of these teams, I think especially Seattle, both teams appear poised, comfortable, in a humorous mood, not overly anxious.
I can't quite
not
tell.
Overly dreading the media availability. I think the vibes were pretty high on both sides, but we'll start with New England.
I can't quite put a finger on whether or not we'll stay with the Patriots specifically. I can't quite tell if they are honestly confident, or just being performative about it and are trying to look as confident as possible.
Yeah. And we know a lot about performatism.
Of course we do.
Our assistant manager, Griffin, is, we think, the most performative guy at FUV. He's got a camera strapped around
Kurt
his
Sipple goes
shoulder.
band for band.
He's got this jacket he was describing to it as the official jacket of disheveled men in movies. And we were like, well, why are you wearing it?
I actually missed that. I fully missed when he was explaining that.
Regardless, Griffin Stevenson, funny guy. A lot of the Patriots players funny too. We had the personality on display. Owen, who were you able to talk to? What were some of your main takeaways from today?
I was able to talk to Kayshon Boutte, and overall just seemed like a really fun guy. He was very loose. I talked to him about JSN's statement yesterday, where JSN claimed Ohio State was wide receiver U. And then I asked Kayshon about that, and he disagreed with it. He's a Louisiana guy, LSU guy, and said he's got to stick with his Louisiana guys. I mean, that's really where what he said is that's where really it all started. Looking all the way back with Odell's and Jarvis Landry's of the world, they kind of started that trend of LSU getting elite talent at wide receiver, and look how it's gone throughout the years. And I'm a firm believer in LSU being wide receiver U. All my guys are from there, from my favorite players. You got Jamar Chase, Odell, and Malik Neighbors, my 3 favorite football players ever. I think that I'll put them in that order. All LSU wide receivers. So I'm a big believer in that. From what I've heard, though, from hearing a lot of the other guys, too, Patriots players seem very loose, very ready for the game. I think going into the game knowing that no one really has you to win, it's definitely, you kind of look back at, I've watched all these documentaries about when the Giants won the Super Bowl. No one ever had the Giants winning either of the Super Bowls. And they went in with that mindset, hey, no one thinks we're going to win, let's go win. And they kind of, even though the media, all week was asked about them being underdogs, which is kind of similar to what the Patriots are being asked, it's kind of just all right, whatever. No one believes in us. Let's just go out there and play our game, play our brand of football. And I guess, them not stressing, feeling like they're worried or, stressed about it makes me feel more confident in the Patriots winning because they're just, ready to go out there and play football and have a little fun with the week. I mean, who knows if some of these guys may never be back for Super Bowl. Enjoy this week while you're here. Enjoy everything that comes with it. And I think that's the way they're looking at it, and they're just ready to play the game.
Yeah, it's so odd because the Patriots are thought of as the big bad wolf for so many years in the NFL, and then you have the struggle bus for a few years, and then they get right back, and people are frustrated.
It was maybe 2.
Yeah, a few. A few is 4 in my head, and they struggle for 4.
All right.
And then they're right back there. But at the same time, as Owen alluded to, the vibe here in San Francisco and frankly internationally is that they're going to lose this game. Now, it still could be close. I think the line's 4.5 for what that matters. But the understanding is that the Seahawks are the better team, that folks from around the league, sources are saying, think the Patriots had an easy schedule.
Very easy.
That they weren't expected to be here, that they're not talented enough to be here, and they expect the Seahawks to kind of put them in their place. We'll see if that happens on Sunday. Swiveling back to Kayshon Boutte briefly, I asked him, he had that amazing catch against the Texans, effectively won them the game, the one-hander in the end zone on that deep ball from Drake May. I said, thinking about that catch growing up, do you have a favorite catch from a Super Bowl? Is there a big memory for you in terms of a catch that was made? Hoping that he wouldn't say a Giants catch because I'm a Patriots fan. And he said, I didn't really watch the NFL growing up, and I thought that was weird.
I feel like professional athletes never watch Cam Scadabo said this too. He said it might have been one of the college interview or when he was doing draft. He's like, I never watched the NFL.
Yeah.
Which is it is really shocking. But these guys who go to the NFL rarely ever are like, oh yeah, I watched it growing up. It feels like quarterbacks always have that quarterback they came from. But you look at a lot of the skill position guys, running backs, and then edge rushers. They really didn't grow up watching the game. They were too busy.
Yeah,
being the best in their high school state.
In a sport like football, it doesn't surprise me as much as it does in other sports. Although I guess it shouldn't really surprise you in any sport. If a guy just doesn't watch the sport that he plays, it's sort of why would you watch it when you can just go outside and play it instead and just be involved in it yourself? But in football specifically, I think the difference between the professional and the college level is where that can sort of create an issue. Like we've been saying with Kayshon Boutte, where he kind of only watched LSU games growing up. That makes sense. There's a lot of people that only watch college football and don't really pay that much attention to the NFL. And if you're one of those younger kids who doesn't really watch the NFL as much, I was one of those for a long time. I watched almost exclusively college football, probably up until high school. But if you play football and you're also a kid who's like that and only watches college ball, you're just not going to have that bank of knowledge from the NFL from the time when you were a kid. And you'll probably pick that up as time goes on and maybe have more knowledge about when you were in the league. But, it's not super surprising to me, but I can imagine being, caught off guard when you're, expecting more of an answer or expecting an answer that's, completely different from the one that you actually get.
Absolutely. And Boutte, one of the better stories this year's Super Bowl, a guy who was a 5-star recruit out of high school, struggled with gambling, had an addiction in college, nearly lost his playing career due to that.
And his coach.
He wrote this fantastic article in the Players Tribune. I recommend you take a peek at it. Just detailing that addiction, how he came back from it, and now a 6th-round draft pick in his 3rd year, has a breakout season, is going to the Super Bowl, and has the potential to be an impact player against a really good Seahawks secondary. But we also saw this morning that he's a pretty funny guy as well. I don't know about you guys. When I talk to the players, overwhelmingly, you're getting a lot of laughs from these guys. You can tell that there's a special type of chemistry from both teams, but on the New England side.
I think high ping in here. This is crazy. This keeps happening. They keep raising the ping in these areas every time I try to talk.
Substation.
Yeah, the substation.
Yeah,
it just erased my mind. I don't really know what just happened there. But I think they're a lot more friendly than I would be expecting. If I was a professional athlete about to play in the Super Bowl and some person came up to me and asked some stupid question, I would just get up and leave. I don't have the patience for that. But a lot of them are I see the way they're interacting with everyone, even when they're not being asked questions, just talking to media members. And you always hear about athletes hate the media. You're really not getting that feel from either side. Even when they're not being asked questions, just having conversation, they feel so friendly. And I kind of wasn't expecting that as much. Me and Griffin kind of just talking about this, the availability to every player and how opening they are to having people come to them. They could just sit there and mope the entire time and make it very clear. Don't come over to me. But every player is willing to sit down and have a conversation. I think it's a little different too with the Super Bowl week. It's the media seems a little less, I think, serious in the sense of the questions they're being asked during the regular season, because it's everyone's from all over the place has different ideas for different questions for whether it's content or just genuinely wondering. And I think they kind of enjoy that part where they're not just constantly being asked about the same thing week after week about preparation, about the team they're playing. It's hey, they're available every day. Let's get creative, and I think they enjoy that aspect of it. It makes it a little more fun for them too.
That's certainly the kind of vibe that you get from today, at least from Wednesday before Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what's going to happen over the course of the next 2 days with this availability and whether or not things are going to progress more towards nuts and bolts and become more serious as time goes on. Yeah. Maybe we see the smiles wipe away by Friday, where they're just completely locked in and ready to go. And I think if I was a team trying to leave an impression on the media group, I would probably be like straight-face killers on Friday so that the last thing you remember about that team is they were ready to go to war before Sunday. And right now, like when the Wednesday before, we got to see them 2 more times this week. It makes total sense that it's a lot more lighthearted. But and I definitely agree with you. I think it's up to the players to be as open to this as they want to, because like they're entitled to that, being professional athletes and being at the top of their game in the Super Bowl. But I mean, like, we could stay with the Patriots here. The Patriots players were so open to anybody who was walking by. Even the guys who were sitting at tables, not at podiums where they were like presented to media. The guys sitting at tables who just got like approached one-on-one. Griffin had a pretty cool exchange with Tommy DeVito, who used to be a New York Giant.
Shout out.
I thought that was really cool. And Tommy DeVito was really cool for like allowing that exchange to go as cleanly as it did. I got to interview Brendan Schooler for a little bit, and he was all smiles, and just like it really just seemed like a friendly guy, and I think it allowed me to kind of settle into just talking to him a little bit quicker. And Schooler particularly, I thought it was pretty cool. He's from SoCal, so he's like used to the weather a little bit, and I asked him a little bit like, how weird is it to go from the AFC playoffs where it was like below freezing and snowing in pretty much every game you guys played, now to come to like 70-degree weather in San Francisco? But he's used to it. He's ready for it.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest takeaways now that we're here in person covering an event of this magnitude is these are all human beings. And we talk about how nice these guys are, the fact that I could walk up to Kairos Tonga, who's a 300-pound nose tackle, and have a lighthearted conversation. Reality is, for these guys, and I mean this in the best way, people might say this as like a joking term these days, but they're just happy to be here. And look, they have a mission. They're going to try and win the Super Bowl. Everyone's on the same page about that. They got this far for a reason. But almost every single person here has never played at this stage before, but has dreamt of it for as long as they can remember. And what we're seeing out of the answers is that people just want to cherish these moments. And they're really, really enjoying every aspect of it. There's a Seahawks player coming out. One guy said something to the extent of like, thank goodness that's over. I'm a bad talker, he said. Another guy said, no, I live for this. Like, this was like one of my, beyond just playing the game, like this was the thing I was most excited about was just the media and talking to so many people of diverse backgrounds. I mean, a lot of us covered the Jets and the Giants, but we never covered these teams before. We're really covering the event as much as we are covering the teams and the players. But with the extended access that we get to hear these stories. And I think I talked to Drake May about, I brought up this stat. Of course, Joe Henry brings up a stat. I said, you're about to be the second youngest starting quarterback in a Super Bowl ever, and he brushed it off like, look, that's a great narrative that you could run with, but the reality is here, I'm 23 years old. I'm in the Super Bowl. He was in this building, in this stadium, Levi Stadium, 10 years ago with his girlfriend watching as a Carolina Panthers fan, and now he's playing in it and leading his team in the charts to try and win a Super Bowl. The overwhelming theme of his answer and what I'd heard from other players as well was, I'm just trying to enjoy this moment with my family, my friends, my wife, my teammates, and also getting ready to win this thing. But in the weeks leading up to it, no doubt preparation is playing a huge, huge role in what these guys are doing and their eyes on the prize. But also, this is a special once-in-a-lifetime type experience that almost everybody who's here is experiencing for the first time. And for us as college students, also experiencing something like this for the first time, not just that it's the Super Bowl, but also that it's we're just not going to be able to cover an event at this young of an age of this magnitude. It was this really cool dynamic that I felt with every guy I talked to, is that we all feel the exact same way and that we're just so happy to be here. I thought that was really cool. One of my biggest takeaways.
Absolutely. Honestly, I feel like that's something that may have crossed my mind, but I hadn't really fully coalesced the idea. That's a really awesome parallel. I'm happy that you actually mentioned that because, man, it's just taking a second to think about it. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's really, really wild. And I like the way you worded it too. Like, we won't get an opportunity to cover an event of this magnitude at this young of an age again, unless we happened to cover the Super Bowl next year. But then it'll be a year in the future, and we'll be that much more experienced with everything. Kelty's gonna age out.
I'm aged out already.
But yeah, I'm just really, really happy to be here. The experience has already been incredible, and we've got another hour and a half of this show and 2 more shows in the next 2 days to keep soaking it in.
Yeah, I think just in general, just trying to, like you just said, I think that's the best way to put it. It's like just sitting here trying to soak it all in, realize, like, you're sitting in a room. Even earlier today, it's like it kind of took me a second to process.
There are so many famous people in this room.
And also even like the fact that we were just in the room with the entire Patriots and Seahawks roster. Like, that whole even when they first came out, I was like, holy, not gonna curse. I was like, wow, there's just so many. Like, there's an entire football roster. You'll never really get a chance to experience. I mean, you might never get a chance to experience this ever again. And I thought that was really cool. And even being here, just like walking around, like before when we first got here, like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins walked by me. And I was just like, oh, my God. It's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That guy carries my fantasy team every year. And, like, one of my favorite players in the NFL walking around. You see Jackson Dart. You just see all these, like, famous people. And I think it's, like, shell shock a little bit. They're trying to absorb it all. And they'll also, like, just, like, take it all in and realize, like, what's really going on. And also, going back to, like, the Seahawks and the Patriots availability, I feel like the Patriots were put in a way worse spot. Like, the Seahawks place where they're doing it much nicer.
Oh, you mean like the
I
actual
think,
venues?
like,
Yeah, we can get into the venues a little bit.
The big venue difference
The
between
Patriots were in a tent outside the hotel.
They were in a outside tent that was pretty cold in there. Like, it wasn't hot, but I wasn't freezing, but it's because it's San Francisco.
But it was 7.
And
it was like we got there at, like, what, 7:55?
Their tables were so cramped together. They had, like, a weird press conference setup. Like, the way it was a makeshift.
It's all they got. It's all they need.
It was makeshift press conference room. You walk into the Seahawks. It's this big convention center. You got millions of different rooms in there. I don't know. It's like
the San Jose Convention Center.
Are the Seahawks being coddled? The
Narratives.
Patriots are doing their press conferences. They're in the cold. They're grit. Their rooms are probably much smaller. Seahawks, they all have the Joe Henry Master Suite. They're getting these ballroom, convention center press conferences. They're going to be soft on Sunday.
Wow.
They're living the whole week all fancy and soft. Patriots are grit and grind. They're grinding right now.
Strong early narrative out of Kelty, and I love it.
If the Patriots come out,
this is a founded
if the Patriots come out and hit the Seahawks in the mouth on Sunday, we're going to know why.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to 100% know why.
Regrettably, we're going to have to give the other guys, Chris and Griffin, a chance to rebuke here and maybe give their own takes against what Owen Kelty is saying. We're going to break down the Seahawks media availability, which happened right after the Patriots, right after this. We'll be right back with more one-on-one.
Welcome back to One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in talk show. I'm Griffin Stevenson with Brendan Shorey and Chris Carino. We got a nice little fresh slate of people on for the Seahawks press availability talk. We just heard Joe Henry, who is our resident Patriots fan, sort of
like one and only.
Yeah, one and only in-depth little walkthrough there about what he saw from this early morning team availability at the Santa Clara Marriott. We are now going to do what we did and take the shuttle from the Santa Clara Marriott down to the San Jose Convention Center, because we got Seahawks media and we have two resident Seahawks fans of the station, the two only Seahawks fans of the station.
Are you guys really the only two?
Yeah, because Chris Shepard used to be a Seahawks.
Chris Shepard did used to be. Shout out Chris Shepard.
Yeah, shout out. And he was he would have loved it here, actually, because they have all the Bayern Munich stuff.
He would have loved this.
Yeah, they have all the Bundesliga stuff, too. That was his jam. He would have loved it. Chris Shepard, if you're listening.
I have jokes in my head I'm not going to make. Had nothing to do with Chris, but anyway. I think that in general.
Why'd you look me in the eyes when you said
I think
that?
Chris, I think I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, you know where I'm going.
The same joke popped into my head, but no, Chris Shepard,
we're on
you're
a
watching.
Similar side
and
of
also,
the
don't worry, my joke was also not about that. My joke was not about you.
But we're you know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we get there. Patriot availability started around 8 a.m. That was around till 9:15, 9:20ish. And then we take the around 40-minute ride, 40 minutes-ish ride. Like Griff said, the busing situation is really helpful for us. And then a little bit of a cough there. And then because of the later nature of the Patriots availability, they got pushed back a little bit. So the two first press conferences, like they talked about in the last one with Vrabel and Diggs, that was McDonald and Darnold. McDonald went on at 10:45, and then McDonald went on at 10:45, and then Darnold went after. And then preceding that, from the press conference room, like the Patriot availability, we went over to a room that kind of just had the entire Seahawk roster available.
I guess I'll start because luckily enough, or you know what, it's not luck, it's skill. It's what we do. I was able to ask Mike McDonald a question in the press conference. But overall, I think, my question, for those wondering, I asked him
He's
about.
Just flexing. He asked a question. You're not even.
No, I was going to talk about. I was going to go into his general.
You don't get to know.
Yeah,
no, get to know.
My question was about whether or not, even though there's no currently rostered players from this Seahawks loss to the Patriots of 2014, if there is sort of a team vibe, or just if anyone's been mentioning around the facilities, like, hey, for like revenge, or like it'd be nice to win because of that. But Mike McDonald gave me a pretty firm no, and he mentioned that no one's even talked about it, which honestly I was kind of surprised by it. Like, you would think, like, surely you would think that
just doesn't have bearing. Like, it's
no,
just,
I get
I'm
that.
Sure,
but
I'm sure it's in a lot of people's
but it's
minds.
not like a team meet. It's not like a Mike McDonald team talk or anything. But like, I'm sure it's definitely something like. There's no way it's not in your mind a little bit.
There's people in that front office where it's definitely sitting in the back of their mind.
It means more to Schneider, for sure.
John Snyder, the first GM to take two teams to the Super Bowl with zero continuity between the two.
That's pretty impressive. That's like the definition of like. It doesn't get more of like successful rebuild than that. Like the definition of a success.
It is very successful. I've just heard that quote 10 times in the past 2 days.
But overall, I wanted to say that Mike McDonald's press conference, I think some people might have could have confused it for sort of scattered. But I think the takeaway, and Chris and I can speak to this as people who have heard him talk and listened to a lot of his press conferences throughout the whole year, and with his 2 years with the Seahawks, he isn't coaching football to do these press conferences. In my mind, he was very much already kind of focusing on practice in the back of his mind. He lives and breathes Seahawks football, and he doesn't really and he said he felt bad, but he gave the same answers for the most stuff. If anything, it showed, I think, continuity and just drive.
Yeah, leaving Sam and Mike's press conferences, I think my internal thoughts walking out of the room was these guys are confident. These guys are very, not necessarily egotistical, but they're confident in their abilities and what they can do. I thought Mike was specifically very confident in the way he talked. But then, Griff, to your point, we left that room and Tucker Austin, our peer, who's been on the show on the last segment.
He was just on the show.
He said Mike seems nervous or something of that vein. And what he saw and the way he explained it did make sense to me that he thought he was nervous. But that was almost foreign to me leaving the building. Maybe, like you said, Griff, it's because I'm watching these press conferences all year long. I'm very used to Mike McDonald at this point, now 2 years into his regime, and so I kind of know him. But I just thought he exuded confidence.
Yeah,
today.
I think there's times when I've seen Darnold nervous, before
today,
games.
Not today.
He wasn't nervous today, but I'm saying, like, I don't know if there's ever been a time, even we talk about going into these matchups where these big matchups against division rivals at home in high-stakes games. I don't know if I've ever been not confident in Mike McDonald's ability to step up. It's always been something else.
No, for sure. And even to your point, I do feel like Sam, the game in LA, the Ram game on the road, I felt like was maybe the most glaring example in my life of a professional athlete on television looking visibly nervous. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a professional athlete look more visibly nervous than Sam Darnold did before that game. He looked like he was almost physically shaking going into that game, and it didn't get much better as he, threw 4 picks in that one. But, Griff, since that game, it's been all positive. You can't really critique this guy. There's not a lot to negatively talk about.
Seahawks haven't lost since that game.
Right. And
really?
But Seahawks have not lost since that Rams game.
But more than them not losing, more than them not having a loss there has been no lack of confidence. There's been no lack of belief. There's been no lack of unity. Those 3 things have been so strong with this team. And to your point, Griff, especially in this last 5 games or so, since that game in L.A. where their quarterback throws 4 interceptions and they still almost win the game on a field goal, it just seems like Seattle and Sam Darnold have just been different since then.
I couldn't agree more. Brendan, I kind of want to throw it to you because we can touch on this. You can sort of cover the Sam Darnold press conference too. I think, obviously, Chris and I, we're objective reporters, but you can't deny, like, we're Seahawks fans, right? Like, diehard Seahawks fans. So my question is for you, as someone who doesn't necessarily have skin in the game, what was your takeaway and kind of what was your vibe check on both the Mike McDonald, Sam Darnold press conference? Was there something that you really liked that you heard? Was there something maybe that you didn't?
And then maybe compare what you saw from Mike and what you saw from Vrabel this morning as well.
Yeah, I liked Mike. I thought he was confident. Mike McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was confident. Yeah, it's the battle of the mics in this Super Bowl.
The word I'd use for Mike is he's measured. He's so measured in every aspect of his life.
I feel like maybe I didn't really sense any sort of distraction to me. If people did, which it sounds like some did, I would say if a coach doesn't have a quirk, I'd be a little worried, and so maybe it's just a little Mike McDonald quirk coming out.
I could put my finger on? It just literally just clicked to me. Sorry to interrupt you, Brandon, but it actually just clicked in my brain what he was, which makes sense. I think Mike McDonald, if anything, in that press conference showed me more that he's impatient right now. I think if it was up to Mike McDonald,
they would play
this
today.
game they would be playing right now, Chris.
Yeah, they would be playing.
He gets excited. He wants
confident.
to. He wants to get this game.
And
underway.
this is a similar thing to at a different level. Kirby Smart. When they beat Alabama the most recent time in the national championship, he has this famous pregame speech that you can look up. It's absolutely fantastic. But in the speech, he's like, I was in a production meeting a week ago, and they were he thought that they were discrediting his team, and he's like, I'm ready to play today. He was telling his guys, I'm ready to play today. I felt a similar sort of vibe from Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald obviously isn't a guy for the spectacle or the panache, but from what I was expecting, he was better than I thought. I thought he was really going to be X's and O's, really be almost maybe annoyed by the process. I didn't get any of that. I didn't sense any of that at all. It seemed like he was having a good time.
He seemed a lot more personable than I kind of expected.
Yeah.
Even
with Griffin's question,
there.
he had fun with it.
Because he was like no, and then he gave
no,
a reasonable answer.
And then explained it. He got some laughs out of the crowd too with the no.
And even one of the answers, he was going to repeat himself and say a similar answer to one he had said prior. And he's like, I feel bad for you guys. I'm not giving you guys great answers. That's something that's not even in the head of most coaches.
Yeah.
Like, am I giving these guys good enough answers right now? That's a level of
Not
selflessness that you don't really see.
The biggest game of the year this weekend.
Of course.
You would think some part of their mind is on that, and they don't really care as much. But he seemed to actually care about the press conference today. But yeah, I think he would be willing to play this game whenever. I think he's just kind of ready to play it now. He thinks his team is ready to play it now. Darnold looked like he was ready to play now, in a sense of not that he was impatient, in a sense of he was confident enough in his ability as a player and as a part of this team, ready to play as soon as possible.
The vibe I get from the Seahawks team when talking about all the players, and I actually really got it with Darnold today especially, is I think these are the scenarios where you can't go out into a press conference and just say, I'm so stoked, I think we're going to blow them out, or I think we're going to play really well. because that's just not what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just go out there and be like, Super Bowl especially, you're not like. But I just get the vibe from a lot of these players, particularly answering questions, that they're just kind of like, listen, we know we're good.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see it. You'll see it.
And Griff, inexperience, I feel like, has been maybe the biggest theme for both these teams coming into this one, how little experience both these teams have, especially at this stage coming into this one. One of the more underrated themes of the entire week is this is not Sam Darnold's first Super Bowl. It's his first Super Bowl he's playing in, but not his first Super Bowl week, not his first time operating through the Super Bowl sort of experience. And it is different, obviously, as a backup QB, but to have the experience in the spectacle that is the Super Bowl week, I think that's definitely helpful.
Well, it's not just him having the experience, but you also have Cooper Kupp, who was talked about a lot at the press conference today.
Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl MVP, one of the best receivers of, say, the past 5 to 7 years.
When I talked to Devin Witherspoon, actually, I was asking him, and I particularly brought up JSN, but I was like, because I'll bring this up later, what I asked JSN about, like, and what Sam Darnold said in the team conference about how he thinks having to go up against the Seahawks defense every day in practice has made their offense so much better. And I was kind of asking Witherspoon, like, hey, what have you got? What have JSN taught you? And he made sure to note, like, in his answer, like, also can't forget about Cooper Kupp. And he told me specifically that when you go to practice and you watch Cooper Kupp work, you hear all these things about Cooper Kupp and you see him play and you're like, the Triple Crown and everything like that. And then you watch him work and you realize, like, oh, that's why he got it. Like,
well, it's the experience he has. It's a Super Bowl experience, and Cooper
MVP.
Kupp is still like sneaky good, very gritty, hardworking player. First one there, last guy out. But it's that kind of mentality that is going to get you over the hump in the big game of the biggest game of the year.
And Kupp, I feel like, has reestablished himself in the NFL and in his role in the second half of this season. Tory Horton, before he got hurt, basically took his spot in the wide receiver room. Was the backup wide receiver 2 behind Jackson Smith and Jigba. Obviously,
I had little faith in Cooper Kupp at midway through the season.
And the Shaheed acquisition, obviously big at the deadline as well. He's obviously more of a hybrid sort of weapon.
Kubiak barely uses him, honestly, on regular offensive schemes.
But I think when looking at Sam and who he's throwing to, I think Kupp, far and away from an experience perspective, is the one he relies on the most. But more than that, I think Kupp brings a level of experience matched with still a quality. Like you said, he's still a quality football player. He's not on this veteran minimum in the way that we talk about it in the NBA. He's still very much a productive football player and has helped the Seahawks team that has needed it at the wide receiver position in the second half of the season.
And it's not just on the stat sheet with how he does in the past game, but he has shown, especially his time with the Rams and still with the Seahawks, he's a good pass blocker as a receiver, especially for his size. He is not afraid to get down, do the dirty work, and that's something that we've seen the Seahawks kind of rely on all season, has been rely on the run game, and then you come off of it with play action, and you can kind of mess around with stuff like that, but that's kind of the basic concept that they run, and having receivers who are willing to go down and block is a very key for that.
And Brendan, I have to bring this up because we're talking about Seahawk player availability. You know where I'm going with this. You're a Dallas Cowboy fan from Dallas, which is, as Owen Kelty said earlier today when we were walking around the city, not where most of the Cowboy fans come from. But nonetheless, you are a Cowboy fan, and that's an understatement. You are a Cowboy fanatic. DeMarcus Lawrence left your team in the offseason, had some harsh words about your team in the offseason, and is now on the big poster over there on the Super Bowl wall. And you got to ask him a question. You got to ask Adrian Beltre a question in Cooperstown this summer. You're hopefully going to find Des Bryant at some point this week.
I wouldn't put those on the same level.
You don't think
here.
Adrian Beltre is on the same level as DeMarcus Lawrence?
I think Adrian Beltre is well above the level of DeMarcus Lawrence.
But that's sneaky.
Lawrence,
it's more of a conversation than you would like to give it credit for.
I think DeMarcus Lawrence – I think there's not even a crazy shout. Like, if I were to choose any defensive player that might win Super Bowl MVP, I think DeMarcus Lawrence is, like, up there for me.
It's just tough unless you get, like, 3 sacks.
Well, I think Ernest Jones maybe has the best upside because he has the pick capability and he can do, like, a Malcolm Smith thing.
Yeah.
Although – yeah, actually –
Where'd Malcolm Smith go to college, Brendan?
I don't know that
Me
one.
either.
Okay.
Thought I was trying to get you. I didn't
I
know
did.
either,
But, yeah, walk us
I
through
didn't know either.
what did you ask DeMarcus Lawrence? Because I think most people are aware, but there's a specific quote maybe.
Yeah, there is, and it kind of hit me in the heart when he said it.
Well, talk about but talk about the Des Bryant bet first, because you were excited about that all week, asking him about that.
Well, I got a set.
One
okay. I thought that was
sets
before.
the scene.
Yeah.
So
please,
DeMarcus Lawrence left my Cowboys in the last offseason.
My Cowboys.
And chose
Jerry.
my boys.
Not even Cowboys fans recognize Jerry Jones as like the rightful owner of the Cowboys.
My Cowboys. He left my Cowboys to go to the Seahawks in the offseason, which at that point I understand if it's a money thing, whatever. A change of scenery, I'm not going to hate you for that. But then he was being interviewed, and he said on air, and I quote, "I'm leaving the Cowboys because I will never win anything with them. That's why I'm going to the Seahawks."
The direct quote was, "My family lives there. It's home. I love it, but I know I'll never win a championship there."
All right, that's the same thing.
If you're saying that's not fair, you are a delusional Cowboy fan. Because that's the reality of the situation.
I'm saying
that is the reality of the situation.
I'm saying it was an unnecessary thing to say.
Sure, that's fair.
It never had to be said, and it was a shot at the Cowboys as an organization.
Untrue and unnecessary don't seem mutually exclusive.
Also, did you hear?
No, they're not.
Do you know another aspect to that story, by the way, which probably looted him to make that statement, is he texted Ernest Jones before signing and asked him, because Ernest Jones on Seahawks, and was like, "Yo, be honest with me. This team seems great, but how good really is this team?" And Ernest Jones basically said, "We're on the cusp of winning a championship," is what he told him. And then actually after the NFC Championship game, Ernest Jones went up to DeMarcus Lawrence and literally said, was hyping him up, and literally said, "I told you. I told you."
And he just had me thinking about it because he brought up middle linebacker. What happened to Van Der Esch?
Injuries.
Leighton Van Der Esch. His career's just over.
Neck injuries, he retired.
He wore the neck roll back in the day, which was a lot of swag.
Was that a neck roll pre-neck injury, or was that a post-neck
injury? He dealt with injuries all throughout
high school and stuff?
College and his young career.
But him and Penn State linebacker, what was his name? The one he used to play next to? The older one?
The old one.
He was a lot better than Van Der Esch. What was his name? Pro Bowler, All-Pro?
Sean Lee.
Yes. So when those two guys were in the second level, playing behind DeMarcus, that was when that defense honestly had a lot of similarities to the current Seahawk defense now. Can you speak to that as well? Because even the secondary was really good as well.
The secondary was good back then. But, yeah, I mean –
and talk about the evolution as well. Me and him haven't watched DeMarcus in the evolution that you have necessarily.
So DeMarcus back – I don't want to say early career, but – when he was probably in his prime, he was a 15, 16 sack a year type of player. And he did that. He had 16 and a half one year, led the team, was towards the top of the league in sacks. And we had a great defense that year. You had that in the front four, and then you had great linebackers. Sean Lee. I can't remember who exactly was there with Sean Lee at the time. I want to say it was Orlando Scandrick.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
But then as he got paid, DeMarcus Lawrence did, and then it seemed from a Cowboys fan's perspective that he just wasn't producing as a pass rusher at nearly the same level. But at that point,
post-contract, you're saying?
Post-contract. He was
saying he got lazy.
I don't want to say lazy because I'll say why.
Okay.
But he dropped from about a 15, 16 sack a year a person to about 10.
Okay.
Max.
Why?
Because that's when he evolved as a run stopper.
Okay.
And I think he devoted a lot more of his effort towards that because in the past 5 years, what we've seen of DeMarcus Lawrence when he was on the Cowboys was a good pass rusher, not great, but good, but a great run defender. And so I think that's what we're seeing a lot of today for the Seahawks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what we're seeing a lot of on the Seahawks.
Seahawks defense has gone from the second worst in the league to the best in 3 years.
And the opposite of how you talk about Micah Parsons when he left Dallas, because you said his run defense was the glaring hole in you not wanting to keep him around. It seems to be the opposite with DeMarcus.
Yes. DeMarcus was our best run defender the year before he left for Seattle. He was our best run defender last year.
Can I also just drop something, because we're speaking of Seahawks run defense in general, which because I was going to say, I mean, it's going to be hard to run the ball anyway if your line is DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, and Jaron Reed.
Hook 'em, by the way.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy.
But another addition, which Mike McDonald's wanted for the last offseason and then at the deadline inquired about, who I just saw reported like an hour and 45 minutes ago by Yahoo Sports, is that it is very unlikely that Max Crosby is a Raider next season. And a
lot of hype on Seahawk Twitter.
He
talks
a lot about he's very favorable towards the Seahawks, and Mike McDonald wants him a lot. And honestly,
Max is coming home.
I don't know. This is a conversation for another time. I just want to point it out there. Like this is a conversation for another time, but because we have this year's Super Bowl to talk about.
You did start it.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I was just jumping in, giving my 2 cents.
Started a conversation 2 minutes later. This isn't the time to do this.
I just want to say, like, actually, how do you? I don't think you would be able to stop that defensive line. That'd be an actual nightmare.
No, but it's not going to happen.
We'll see. Seahawks have to trade for him.
Love him talking about a hypothetical line as we're about to play in the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Because we're thinking dynasties.
How good would they be with Crosby, though?
Yeah, we think about dynasties.
I think they'd be good enough to get to a Super Bowl.
Imagine next year.
Yeah, they'd be good enough to go
back.
back.
What I mean?
Yeah. But okay, I can talk about when I spoke to Byron Murphy because we were talking about the run defense.
I want to talk about Byron Murphy from the perspective of you as well, because he gave you an interesting quote.
He did. Griffin.
You? Oh.
You want me to go first?
Well, you had the quote, did you not, from Byron Murphy?
No, I had the quote from.
He had the quote.
You said it on behalf of Griffin to me.
No, we both talked to Byron Murphy separately, and he told us 2 separate things.
So Byron Murphy,
please.
I talked to him. Well, first of all, actually, I started off by asking him, if he had a welcome to the NFL moment, or if he didn't want to answer that, does he think he has given someone a welcome to the NFL moment?
That's a really good question.
He said that he can't really think of like a specific time, but he says he likes to feel that he's given a lot of rookie quarterbacks that he's played welcome to NFL moments. I then asked him if it's exciting playing a second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl. Obviously, he said he kind of gave me that. He kind of gave me the look, but then was like, "You gotta."
And then gave you the PR.
You gotta respect Drake May. I'm sure Mike McDonald is thrilled to face a second-year quarterback because he does really well against young quarterbacks. But then I asked Byron Murphy about his signature he does a great job of stuffing the run up the middle, because what he does is when he gets double-teamed, instead of getting pushed back, he'll like drop onto one leg basically, and then it's literally impossible to move him, and it jams the gap completely. And he said, I was like, where did you pick that up? Is that something you picked up on your own? And he was actually talking about how his defensive tackles coach at Texas taught him how to do it, and basically actually forced him how to do it, to learn how to do it. And he said he wasn't good at it at first. And he spent a lot of time on the sleds, and he was really not good at it. And he eventually got the hang of it, and because his coach just forced him to. And the quote he gave me was that he loves to see a double team set on him because he knows he's gonna like split it basically. Like he knows he's gonna get in the way of it. I think that's another key reason why the Seahawks have just been so dang successful with stopping the run, because they just got units in the interior.
I was just going to say, Griffin, you can attest to this too, but run defense has, when watching as a fan, week in and week out, is those short yardage, whether it's third down or fourth down, when the team just thinks it's an inevitability that they'll get the first down. It's an inevitability they'll keep the drive going. I've seen this Seahawks defense so many times this season just completely shut down drives that had every right to keep on going. Their drive stoppers, their drive halters, this run defense, arguably the most important part of this Seahawks team. The point I was going to also bring up before was I would like to flip it on the other side as well. The guy may be getting the least amount of talk this week that I think is most unjustifiably so receiving that amount of talk. Kenneth Walker has been fantastic the last couple weeks. Arguably the most important player on the offense for Seattle. I feel like Kenneth Walker is an element, whether his jersey's in the store or people are talking to him in the player availability. But when it's talked about what are the game changers of this game, I don't think Kenneth Walker is being brought up nearly enough.
Yeah. What did DeMarcus Lawrence say to you really quick before I get into Kenneth Walker?
DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yeah. Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy, I asked him about the defensive mentality of this team, basically. And he said, we're the dark side. And said he wants to cause pain. And
cool.
Repeated that.
Dope.
He said he wants to cause pain multiple times.
Swag.
And that was you can kind of picture where he went from that. Just like
dark.
What he said. Very dark, but that's kind of what you want. That's the mentality you want not just defense, but your D tackles to have.
Yeah, that's a D tackle mindset. I was going to say, I think it speaks to the strength of our defense that also
our defense is crazy.
Our defense.
As a guy in Radio Row, we is crazy.
The Seahawks.
I have kept myself in check.
The Seahawks defense.
If we go 10 feet that way on Seahawks Radio, we can maybe get away with it. But
Seahawks defense is that when a running back has 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games, and they've both been playoff games against rivals, and he's like a chair guy, not a like separate table guy for player availability. I think it shows just how
explain what you're saying.
So for player availability,
it's a good analogy.
They choose like 10 guys, usually like the biggest name guys. They go. Those are the guys that
get their own
sit at
step
a table.
and repeat.
Whereas, and people can horde around them, do the scrum. Whereas the rest of the guys like share a table, like 2-3 guys at a table.
Very similar to this.
Yeah, and you can kind of sit down and talk to them and interview them. And Kenneth Walker was at the table. He wasn't he wasn't up there like, for example, like it was Witherspoon, JSN, DeMarcus Lawrence, Ernest Jones, Gray Zabel, AJ Barner, Leonard Williams.
I actually have.
That was
paper.
it. That was. I believe that was.
Would you guys rather be at one of the tables or at one of the podiums?
Podium.
I don't know.
Well, if you're a rotation player.
So podium guys were A.J. Barner, Leonard Williams, Julian Love, Ernest Jones, Jaron Reed, Gray Zabel, Cooper Kupp, JSN, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Devon Witherspoon. Like you said, I think Kenneth Walker may be the most pronounced guy not in that list. On the other side, for the Patriots, they had Nick Emenwari, who's becoming more and more pronounced, more and more important, I think, as the weeks go along.
I'll get in on him after you touch on this Patriots thing.
And I was just going to say the 2 guys not a part of there with no step and repeat behind them. One of them, Christian Gonzalez, who didn't seem super talkative when we talked
about him. Even, right?
Yeah, All-Pro corner isn't on was he an All-Pro this year, Joe?
No, wow.
Pro Bowl?
And also, with that said,
Pro Bowl.
The almost perfect comparison to Gray Zabel on the other side. Will Campbell also not getting his own step and repeat well. So maybe one team prioritizes their first-round offensive lineman pick maybe more than the other.
Well, I think
maybe one had a really bad conference championship game.
Yeah, maybe one is.
Maybe one had such a bad conference championship game he got demoted to the
Joe,
team.
would you like to defend yourself?
We'll talk about it during predictions, but also
best reaction he could have had. Just saying no there was electric.
What was his quote? It was like, if you give up 1 sack a game in college, it's whatever. But if you give that, you're flipping burgers.
You're working at Amazon.
That's
a great quote if you're really good. If you have a bad stretch, could be career suicide.
Did you say you're working at Amazon?
Could be career suicide. Yeah, you'd be working at Amazon.
Can we order Can we order Ethernet cable on Prime Delivery tomorrow and see if
Will Campbell
delivers it? That'd be great.
Anyway, nonetheless, back to the Seahawks.
Well, that might not be good for Amazon, though, because if Will Campbell had to block a thief from getting to the packages, we would never get our packages.
You know who uses Amazon? Probably everyone.
Yeah, but it's a Seattle.
Specifically, Julian Love probably uses Amazon.
Funny, he quoted a Seattle-based company. What did he know at the beginning of the season?
What?
He quoted a Seattle-based company.
What's the company?
Amazon.
Oh.
What did he know?
Oh.
What did he know?
Come on.
They're so global. You don't think Seattle when you think of Amazon.
Well, that's just
Starbucks. You think of Seattle.
Even Amazon isn't getting national media attention.
You listen to Pearl Jam. You think of Seattle.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm on Amazon. And I'm like I feel the great Northwest.
Chris, context clues.
What? You think of Washington State?
So Seattle.
Owen Kelty saying he thinks of Washington State when he thinks of Amazon. We appreciate that, Owen.
Chris, we were talking about the defensive front.
I'll get into that later.
We're talking about the defensive front in the run game. But what also is great is that because that defensive front collapses the interior so hard, certain talented running backs in this league are able to bounce plays outside. And for some teams, that's bad because you get runners open field. But the thing with the Seahawks is they debatably have 2 of the best open field tackling defensive backs in the league in Devin Witherspoon and Nick Emenwari. These guys just fly around. Emenwari literally tackled the guy with one hand while being blocked earlier against the Commanders. They just have guys that get after it.
And you brought it up yesterday, you Griff, the specific game, but this Seahawks defense has neutralized almost every good running back they've played. It's a long way from that Josh Jacobs game on the Raiders where I think he ran for 800 yards.
Dude, I was there. I think it was 3 touchdowns, 280 yards.
Yeah, just a game so embarrassing that you remember it years after. It also just shows the evolution of just how good this defense has gotten.
Well, yeah, and it's so crazy to me. It almost doesn't register, but it does show how bought in this team is. You have a great signal. You have a great signal caller, a vet in Ernest Jones, who I think Ernest Jones and Nick Emenwari in my mind actually are the 2 focal points of the defense. But I think it's really telling that you can point to any player in the Seahawks defense and just you find a certified stud.
Even Tyrese Knight, a guy who comes in for Drake Thomas in the second half of the NFC Championship game, a guy who's mostly on special teams. He did a fantastic job at linebacker in that one of the second half. We only have a few minutes here. I would like to get just one more kind of thought from both of you. Me and Griff will have a similar one, but we might be able to go we here, Griff. I would like more of a fan perspective from the two of us. What was the coolest part of today, specifically with Seahawk availability, and Brendan as a guy who's just obsessed with football in a more neutral setting this week? What was it like, and what was the coolest part?
Okay, for me as a Seahawks fan, I do think maybe just what from the outside looking in would be the coolest is getting to ask Mike McDonald the question in the press conference.
Very cool.
That's just one of those things very hard.
Doesn't get bigger than that.
Yeah. I think there's two I can think of from player availability. I mean, honestly, the fact that I spoke and JSN heard me
Answered?
talk,
Yeah.
answered is
It's pretty unreal.
pretty outstanding. And then also, Byron Murphy was a good conversation too. Seemed like he was especially when I asked him about his drop step, he kind of leaned forward and was oh. But weirdly, even though I don't think it was particularly a riveting interview by any means, but I don't think this is his style. How many people have sat down and interviewed Clint Kubiak at all this year?
Not a lot.
I got to interview and talk to Clint Kubiak for a few minutes and ask him 3 different questions.
Who is going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, and just that was maybe just one of those things. It's that's one that I think is one of those ones I'll get a say I look back on this stuff, but perhaps in the future, 10, 20 years down the road, who knows what Kubiak does with the Raiders, right?
Right.
Where it'll be
cool
wow,
picture.
I remember sitting down and talking to him 3 days before he went on and won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks and then left and then started his thing. And then I knew,
It was a similar observation I made with Gray Zabel, where Tucker Austin did a fantastic job of getting my video interviewing Gray Zabel. And after I saw the video, I was watching it back, and I'm like, in 20 years, if this guy's a Hall of Famer, this is a wild video. His rookie year at the Super Bowl, a guy I'm going to watch play countless snaps. Just to be able to go back and log these things, look back at it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think the coolest part for me was just the people I'm surrounded by. Whether that's availability this morning and it's all these players who are about to go play in arguably the biggest sporting event in the U.S. In the year.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by them to then here surrounded by, you take a walk around, you see Pat McAfee, we saw Amon-Ra St. Brown, we saw Ocho Cinco earlier, just the
Christian
people.
McCaffrey, Jackson
it's
Dart,
just
Jamar
the people
Chase,
you're
Justin
surrounded-
Jefferson.
The coolest part about that is you see these, I wouldn't necessarily say idolize. You watch these players on TV every week, and you kind of look up to them in a way where it's I support these guys they are, I root for them in whatever they're doing, and then you come here and you see them in real life. They're oh, I know that guy. I watched him last Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Especially in football when they have a helmet on.
Yeah,
it doesn't
you can't
feel
make it
as
bigger.
personal.
Also, sorry, Joe, again, but this is actually a genuine thing. I'm not even trolling. Will Campbell is so much smaller than I thought he was. When
He's
you think
tiny.
When you think of an offensive tackle when you think of an offensive tackle in the NFL,
He's little.
well, actually, I was talking to Theo and Blaine about that.
And we are live, but there's breaking news. Judy Batista just joined the WFUV set. Of course, the mother of our peer Grace McCarron. Judy, we heard you as the first question of the Drake May press conference yesterday. Oh, what? That wasn't you? That's freaky. That sounded just like you. I was bragging about it too. I was like, Judy Batista got the first question. We're just doing Seahawk talk right now. We got to do availability earlier today, and it was really cool. Especially we're both Seahawks guys too,
fans, so
that's really cool as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Portland, Oregon, so
Happens. It happens. Yeah, good to see you. Yes, maybe we'll give us some time tomorrow. Perfect. I'm going to ask you on camera, so you can't say no.
perfect.
Good to see you, Judy. Good to see you. But, Judy Batista, obviously, on NFL Network and just in NFL coverage throughout the week.
The mother of probably someone who will be here next year.
Absolutely. Grace McCarron, in a similar vein, works for Giants. We see her at Giants, an NFL family. And Judy Battista, arguably one of the most pronounced names you see constantly in the NFL world, an NFL Network show that I watch every week as well. Brian Baldinger, also a guy who has spent some screen time with her, another guy we've had on today, kind of circling back to the Seahawks thing. Just want to kind of put final touches on our Seahawks talk from availability. I want to answer the question I asked. For me specifically, coming into availability today, as we just talked about with Judy, I have a kind of unique situation. I grew up in New Jersey. I'm a Seahawk fan. Regionally, I feel sort of detached from them sometimes. I'm not close. I don't really have fans around me aside from Griff. I don't really have another friend who's a Seahawk fan. But to be there today and to be able to walk around every player, specifically the players not on the podium, all the other players who I've watched all season long. Griff, I don't know if it was just me, but I also didn't realize how well I knew the Seahawk team until I walked in there.
I knew every player.
I was like, I think I know every guy in here. But the amount of togetherness I felt with the Seahawks, I really felt like a part of whatever the Seahawks kind of lore is. For one of the first times in my life, that was a feeling that was indescribable. It was something that was incredibly special to me.
We're here for a moment in time in Seahawks history.
And you get to go to games in Seattle. Like, I'm truly detached from the Seahawk world. And to be able to just walk up to Kobe Bryant, a guy who I love watching in the secondary, and just talk to him, I mean, that's fantastic. And also, if I wasn't invested enough for Sunday, I am just so much more invested now. Because, Griff, you can attest to this. I'm sure you can attest to this too, Brendan.
I'm going to feel worse if they lose.
These guys are so nice.
Yeah, they
as
are.
well.
The Seahawks were really nice.
Rashid Shaheed,
so nice.
I mean, Brian Baldinger said it to me before we got on air, but he's like, isn't Shaheed the nicest guy ever? I go, Baldy, I think Shaheed's the nicest person I've ever met. Travion Henderson as well, so I'm not necessarily biased as well. Both teams really nice, but to really get the personalities of these guys, that's been the biggest treat for me.
I'll wrap it up there. I think takeaway that I got too is on the Seahawks with their availability. Both rookies and vets said the rookies said that the vets told them this is the best team they've been on, like culture-wise. The vets have said they just love the team culture. They go out there, they have fun, but they keep their heads down, and I think they're just dialed from what I got from team availability. That'll wrap it up for our section of this talk. It'll wrap up our general talk about team availability, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get into some talk about what we're actually potentially going to see on the field on Sunday, what we think might happen, what the difference makers might be. So we'll talk about our game predictions right after this break.
Your mic's not on. His mic's not on.
Get this guy's mic on.
This guy, come on, get his mic on. You're pressing the wrong button here. It's 2, 3, 4.
We're in the 2, 3, 4
Come on.
zone.
Now his mic's on.
There it
Back
is.
to back.
Well,
issues,
now
except
we
it's
can
the-
welcome you back inside the
You did it
Moscow
last time. You didn't
Center
turn his mic
West.
Last time.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Either way.
That's why I meant back-to-back mics not
Hey,
turned
this
on.
is why we have 2 more shows.
Gotta get the.
We're gonna get it nice and cleaned up for tomorrow, and we might even have some Ethernet. Might have
We might.
a steadier stream. Who knows?
We could.
But either way, we're glad to welcome you back inside the Moscow Center West, the location of the media center, the hub of all media personnel here in San Francisco, in downtown, in California. Tucker Austin, Joe Henry, Owen Kelty with you for the 3rd hour of our show today, day 1 for us of media content availability, all that jazz here at Super Bowl 60. Man, 60 Super Bowls.
7 away from greatness.
But like our colleague Griffin said at the end of the last segment, we are now going to get into a little bit of preview of the big game on Sunday. We're going to give some predictions. We're not going to get as deep as predicting scores yet, but I think we can at least give a sense of who we're leaning towards at the moment and maybe one underlying factor that we think might rear its head come Sunday. Joe, we could start with you here. I think we know where you're leaning because some bias plays in here, but I think when it comes to the Super Bowl, it's totally fine to be biased. If your team's in the Super Bowl, if you don't think they're going to win, you have a problem.
Yeah, I don't know how I could possibly say that the Patriots aren't going to win this game. Now, do I think they're going to win the game? Like, logically, I don't know. I mean, I'm unfortunately surrounded by a lot of Seahawks people, so I hear a lot of narratives that are, admittedly persuasive. And look, I've been watching the Seahawks. They're really, really good. I think this team on paper is more talented, but I also think the Patriots, they've been the story of the season in the NFL, like point blank period. And the Seahawks have been right up there with them, but the turnaround the Patriots have had has been incredible. Look, anywhere I could point to say, look, this is why I think the Patriots will win, you could have an equally great or greater counterpoint for the Seahawks. So I could say with Mike Vrabel as coach, I really trust him to win any big game, and I really believe that. But you could make a similar case for Mike McDonald, who's just done just the same in his year with Seattle this year. Could make the case that Drake May could be the MVP, but you could also say Sam Darnold's playing at an MVP level right now, and the Drake May hasn't had a great postseason. I can make the case that the Patriots' defense is the best in football, but Seattle statistically probably is. So there's so many moving parts and so hard to make an argument in this game, really either way, but I think especially for the Patriots, just because both of these teams are really well-rounded, but Seattle has had the statistical edge for much of the season and also has had a lot more of those kind of prove-it wins, like beating the Rams twice, including in the NFC Championship game. The Patriots' schedule, frankly, it pales in comparison. And it's not to say that the Patriots aren't capable of winning this game. I think they are, but they absolutely have not played a team this good. And part of that's because I think Seattle is the best team in football right now, but the Patriots, you got to play the Bills twice. You got to play 3 playoff games, but each of those had kind of a mini asterisk along with it. It's challenging to make a logical case for the Patriots, but I think we also need to push the brakes in a big way, and I'm serious when I say this, because this narrative that's going to be a Seahawks stomping of the Patriots has gotten totally out of hand. It could happen, absolutely could, but the fact that that's become the predominant narrative, the Patriots aren't certainly capable of winning this game. They haven't won similar games so far this season. I mean, think about Week 5 and the Bills. This Patriots team absolutely can win a Super Bowl. That's what I want to convey right now. But before we really get into the weeds of it, is you might hear so many things about how the Patriots are going to lose this game, and the fraud schedule is going to come to life, and the Drake May fraud season is going to be put to bed by Seattle. But absolutely, the Patriots could win this game. We can break down a little bit more why, but that's the first thing I want to say. No matter what the stats might say, no matter what all the pundits might say, this game is much more of a toss-up than the narratives indicate.
I don't know about a toss-up, but
it's more of a toss-up.
Yes, then I'd agree there.
Also, real quick, nice little fun thing.
Oh yeah,
fun little email that we just got.
We have news about tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we could have a chance to go to a Bad Bunny press conference.
Interesting.
Here, 10 a.m.
He will be here.
Okay.
Which could be fun. Bad Bunny halftime show.
Either Bad Bunny or availability.
Ooh, it's a hard choice. Very hard choice.
I know what the players would choose.
Where's
I
Bad
think.
Bunny gonna be? That's where I will be tomorrow morning.
Well,
but
actually, you know what? We could split that up too.
We could.
But we don't need it. We don't need to talk shop on the show.
No.
We should actually.
I just
do
wanted
the
to mention
show.
Bad Bunny is going to be he's going to be the halftime show. I'm very excited for that. You're going to get a chance to see that in person. Bad Bunny, banger after banger.
I think it's
going
to be a really fun show.
I think it's
like
gonna be,
even at home, I think I'm excited to watch.
And I think
it.
that's going to go well with the game because I think it's going to be a very close game, at least for the first half. I think we're looking at a low-scoring game, similar to how all the Patriots games have been. They've played a top defense. The Chargers were middle-tier defense, but Texans, you could argue, have an argument.
Chargers had a really good defense.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think it was top 10. But then, Texans you could argue and Broncos you could argue go back and forth with Seattle as the best defense in football.
Yeah, and New England has to be up there.
And while the Patriots and Drake May did very clearly struggle against those defenses, the Patriots defense put down, the Chargers game, that O-line is destroyed. But, the Texans offense was not – that shouldn't have been that bad. They have a lot of talent on there. And then, they weren't just stopping these teams. It was, pure domination from this Patriots defense. And I know the Seahawks have much more weapons, a better quarterback than probably what the Patriots have faced so far. But I still don't see – in my head, I think it's going to be a blowout. I kind of want it to be a Seahawks blowout just because I don't want the Patriots to win.
Are you sure that I haven't convinced you by not saying a single thing?
You're not making me mad. I'm more towards leaning the Patriots here because I don't know. I don't think their offense is going to win. I do believe in the Drake May fraud schedule, but I also believe that I don't fully trust Sam Darnold going against a top-tier defense in the Super Bowl. I do think we've seen before the turnover bug get him in big games, and I know he's had a couple good games in a row. Rams not a notorious good defense. Patriots have good corners, good D-line.
And the Patriots have been forcing so many turnovers.
If you can take away, which is very hard, but you have an elite corner, if you take away JSN, they still have an elite offense, but if you can stop the run, which is Patriots defense has shown they can do. They've shown that they can stop these weapons. I think it'll be close at half. I think that second half is going to be make or break. I think that what they refer to it as the last drive of the first half, drive of the second half.
It's a double dip.
I think that could be the deciding factor in the game. If someone scores right before the half and gets the ball back, I think, and they score again, that's the deciding factor. That's going to be huge.
In a way, it was for New England in the AFC Championship game.
What is it called in basketball? Yeah, 2 for 1. If you're able to do that, it's even get points, a field goal touchdown, if it's high game, final 30 seconds, you get a field goal. Touchdown at a half, you're down 10 right there, and nothing before you even blinked.
I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a
exactly. That was a deciding factor in Rams Seahawks.
Why I like the Patriots in this game, and I said we won't get into the weeds just yet, but game script is a big one of them. The Patriots have just controlled the game script in almost every game they've played this season. The only game off the top of my head where it got away from them was that Buffalo game. But the ability to manage a game, I think this game's going to be pretty low scoring. Even though I like both of these offenses, that's the way the Patriots have played it. The Patriots have had these slow, methodical offensive drives and have stonewalled the run, have allowed completions, but have not allowed anything over the top. It's created low-scoring first halves. And if you're New England, if you're in a one-possession game at the half, especially if it's a low-scoring game, especially if you're creating havoc, some turnovers, that's a recipe for success.
The door's wide open. If it's a one-possession game going into the second half, especially if the Pats are getting the ball to start the second half, that door is wide open. And I think if I was going to lean towards one of these teams, it would be the Seahawks, and I've kind of been stuck on this position for the past 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks even. I really cannot get around just how unstoppable the Seahawks look on defense and when they're firing on offense. The thing is that Sam Darnold and the offense has to be able to fire, and Sam Darnold has to be playing well, which so far in the playoffs he has been doing that. We heard Baldy on the show earlier today say that Sam Darnold may have played his best game of his career in the NFC title game against the Rams. They smoked the 49ers in the first game that they played in the playoffs this year. You look at the Patriots, and they also won their games handedly, but both of these teams had the benefit of playing their first 2 playoff games at home. I think it goes a little bit to the Patriots' benefit that they had to go on the road against the Broncos in the AFC title game and get that win away from home.
Patriots 9-0 on the road this season.
And the Seahawks haven't played on the road yet this playoffs. Now they're going on the road for the first time. New England already had their bags packed for the AFC title game. They probably just rolled that over into the Super Bowl trip.
Yeah, interesting to think about like what the mix of fans will be.
I think it's going to be heavy Seahawks. Surely it will be. That was actually going to be.
Yes, we were also talking like Seattle is a pretty well-off city as well, but New England has a lot of rich fans.
Oh, the fans travel well for both of these fan bases. Seahawks get that edge because of like physical proximity.
Sure. There'll be a lot of 49ers fans rooting for the
It'll
Patriots.
definitely be interesting. Yeah, true. Just
true as
straight
well.
for the hate watch because and they live here,
There's
so
a solid chance
they'll be
they
around.
bought tickets when the 49ers made the playoffs, just hoping.
My
and now
X
they're like, "All right, might as
factor
well go and
or
root for the Patriots."
my like underlying thing that might factor in the game was going to be the fans in attendance.
Yeah.
I don't
gonna
think
be-
fans ever play a part in the Super Bowl.
If the 12th man is there in the building for the Seahawks, it's going to make it hard for the Patriots to
I don't think
function.
there will be enough fans.
And look at I don't want to single out Will Campbell too hard, but like look at the way that Will Campbell's been playing since he came back from injury. It's been like a little bit rough around the edges compared to what he was playing like earlier in this season, and that can maybe ripple through the rest of the offensive line if one guy isn't like fully 100% or fully locked in. The whole offensive line could get off kilter, and if you've got that Seahawks fan contingent getting really loud in the stadium, it could be hard for New England to function offensively. If they create some of those unforced, or I guess maybe forced penalties forced by the fans, Seattle could just walk in and own the place. I think there's even more impetus for Seahawks fans to show out to this game because it is in the Niners Stadium.
100%.
Easily. They want to go make it theirs
They're
because
close
it would be sticking it to the Niners fans to turn it into
and win a Super Bowl in their stadium.
Yeah, exactly. To turn it into another. I'm blanking on the name.
Seahawks home game?
Seahawks home game, but I'm blanking on the name of the stadium.
Oh,
Levi's? Oh, Lumen.
Lumen Field.
Lumen.
Because it's called Lumen
Severance reference. Have you ever been to
Yeah.
the Lumen? Chris Carino's never been there, but claims
Yeah.
to be a fan. It's crazy. Bandwagon.
But either way, if the
crazy
Seahawks
stuff.
if the Seahawks fans can travel in numbers, turn Levi's into Lumen, they flip this game in favor of the Seahawks 100%.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, Patriots they're 9-0 on the road. Like I just don't buy that narrative. I don't feel like it's going to be a huge factor in this game, and someone's hired Chris Carino.
Mike McDonald's lost two road games in 2 years.
Griffin
for the record,
Griffin
so
off screen is
just keep
questioning.
that
I
out
agree with you. I don't think fans have
Griffin
any
off
impact.
screen is questioning whether fans have an impact in the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Because we're talking
maybe
about
the
it
Bucs.
because what if
They were
it
home.
does this year, Griffin? You look
Yeah.
at the
That's it,
physical
though.
distances that either of these fan bases would have had to travel. The Seahawks are on the same coast. Griffin, the
He's
Seahawks are
trying
on
to
the
say
same
other way
coast.
around. Like, if there's a chance the Seahawks fans can make an impact.
The Seahawks fans could probably drive here legitimately. Patriots fans have to fly. If you're clinically insane if you drive from the New England area
the Seahawks
to California.
So
Make
off
me
their
root for-
rockers
Okay,
that they're
maybe-
off-camera producing. And
No,
having
okay.
arguments in
One
every
thing though,
single segment.
do you know what I will argue? Maybe for the Seahawks, you want more Patriots fans because Mike McDonald only has one loss, right? Or it's one or two losses. Two losses in his career as the Seahawks head coach.
We're trying
On
to
the
argue
road.
that
This is
both
more
of these
in the
teams
road.
are
This
On the
argument,
road.
this
In the
argument,
road.
this argument is more ridiculous than the one that
That's
I was making about
absurd.
fans having an impact in the stadium. You're making the argument that having more of the opposing fan
The
is going to
Patriots
cause
are
like
9-0 on the road. That's
No,
cool. I
but
would
we're on the
rather
road.
if you
It's
own
gonna
it.
Seahawks are on
cause
the
the
road.
opposing
Not
team to
we
play
are. The
better.
Seahawks
Like,
are
that
on
makes
the
no
road.
sense.
The Seahawks are on the road. Are they
I mean,
not?
They're technically on the road. Let's not. I mean, what, Griffin? Please tell me what that means for them. That they're on the road.
No,
Like,
but
what-
we're on-
what
but the Seahawks are on the
literal
road.
impact does that have in the game? They are technically.
they gotta
considered
travel.
The away team.
They both have to travel,
They have
but
to
they are the
travel.
home team.
But if
They
you're
get the
debating-
home
if you're
sideline,
debating
home
road
locker
records,
room.
though.
They get the home sideline,
But I
home
don't
locker
think it's-
room.
I
But
don't think we
when you're
need
talking
to.
about, what's the two hardest parts about playing on the road? Going to another team's stadium, not playing in yours. If we're talking about road records, it's playing in another team's stadium.
Well, it's a neutral site game.
Well,
It
anyone
is.
can go.
Site
Anyone can
game.
go 9-0 on the road
And-
in. We can go 9.
It's not. It's so then fine. By that measure, it's not a road game for either team. It's a neutral site game for both teams. And when we talk about a neutral site where any fans can show up, I think more Seahawks fans will show up, and I think it'll factor into the game.
Yeah, but just to
And that
fully
doesn't
squash-
seem that ridiculous to
No,
me. That
it's not.
fans
Just to
in the
fully
building would have
squash
impact
that
on the
narrative.
game.
Look, the Seahawks could have lost only 2 road games their last 2 years. The Patriots could be 9-0 on the road this year. Both of these teams want this game to be a home game. Like, there's no point having the debate over who's going to be more impacted by fans of the opposing team showing up because both teams have proven that they can play fine in those conditions.
And they both have very passionate fan bases,
Maybe
too.
we should focus more on the lift that you could get having a passionate fan
I
base.
think all that matters is
behind
Drake
you.
May's going to go in there, put up 400 yards, and win the game.
So
I've
true.
switched sides.
So true.
Switched. Stand down, Pete. What is it? We all we have. We all we got. We all we need. Let's go, Pats. Let's go, Pats.
Reference a different moment.
I would never root for the Pats in my life. I'm rooting for the Pats now.
I rooted for the
It's
I was on
gonna
the
hurt.
right side of the Malcolm Butler interception.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I
What
am.
went
Now I
into
am on
that?
the right side of the Malcolm Butler
As a
interception.
Giants fan.
I was running with the Niners that playoffs, and I didn't like what Richard Sherman did to Crabtree.
Oh.
Crabtree's a bro, come on. He's sorry. Crabtree's sorry.
But also, wait, what Super Bowl was that? 48? 49? So that was 11 years ago. I was 10 years old. I mean, like, this is a kid making kid decisions for kid reasons.
I was 6 or 7.
I liked Jim Harbaugh, and I liked the Niners for that reason. And then saw Richard Sherman disrespect Crabtree after the game, and I was like, wow, I didn't really like that out of Sherman. I'm gonna root for the Patriots because I want the Seahawks to lose.
Well,
and then it
but
worked.
Richard Sherman verbatim said that he was disrespected.
Well, yeah, but I just didn't believe that because I wanted the Niners to win.
I think
Again, I was 10, so like your 10-year-old brain is going to immediately ignore everything that the Seahawks player says
The way everyone
and
went
just
at Crabtree,
blindly
I think that
support
would
the
be-
Niners.
The way everyone goes at Crabtree, you think it might always be on Crabtree because Keith Delete, who I did see earlier,
It
snatched
definitely,
his
it
chain, I
probably
think, about
was.
6
I
times.
do. I probably got to go review the tape. It was a really
Check
good
the
play
film.
by
Check
Sherman.
the film.
I remember it being a good play by Sherman back in the day. Like,
Look, we're just letting Griffin go.
I mean, yeah,
here.
no, because no
I
one
know,
else can
yeah,
hear
no,
him.
this
Yeah,
is
he's
no
dead
one's
air
looking
just
for him.
gripping off to
No
the
one can hear you.
side.
He's just yapping into
They're
he's just
so
yapping into
easily
empty air.
inflamed, when it comes to the Seahawks. It's amazing.
I
and
know.
That's why you swap sides.
It's
I don't-
I can't stand the bias here. There's no
because
there's
we're just nonchalant about it. Look, if we win, we win. If we lose,
Yeah.
we lose.
Yeah.
I'm not here to change your
Yeah.
mind. I'm just here to talk about.
because we're all we got. We're all we need.
We all we got.
We all we got. We all we need.
Emphasis
Mike
on we.
Vrabel, Drake May.
They got to protect Drake May. You know what?
I
If we want to avoid,
Who's
the fans,
We
I
are
think
the
that's
New England
probably
Patriots.
my X factor.
I think
Can the
I have
Pats
a few.
offensive line protect Drake May from that defensive front for Seattle? I am very, very scared of those D tackles, and I think the Patriots should be too.
Yeah.
Will Campbell should probably eat Wheaties on Sunday in the morning just to be sure.
Me, Diggs, and Diggs Chef are gonna be celebrating crazy after this game
Owen.
when we win the Super Bowl. It's gonna be it's going to be the best day of my life.
I like what you said about the O-line. I think that's one of my maybe 3 biggest X factors in this game is Will Campbell, his struggles cannot be overstated. Like, that's a storyline. That's actually a story. That's not the media putting something out of proportion. He is really, really struggling in the postseason, and a top 10 O-line has gone to maybe a bottom 10 O-line, and Drake May has struggled because of it. It's not just that he's being sacked per se, it's that on these under pressure throws that he'd been so confident with all season long, he has clearly lost that edge of confidence over him. There have been so many instances where he doesn't even get hit or he doesn't get sacked, but because he's pressured, he makes, frankly, a poor throw on a crossing route, short or medium distance, that had been his bread and butter all season long. And because he's so concerned about the pressure, he's taken significantly less deep shots than he did during the season. And the deep game was the #1 differentiator for this Patriots offense all year. They had the best deep passing game in the league. So the struggles of one guy in Will Campbell, not to put it all on his shoulders, he's a rookie, and he's had a great rookie campaign overall, but the struggles of one guy in the postseason have drastically changed the way the Patriots have played and ran their offense. To me, that might be key #1 in deciding this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think their offense has been they got to figure it out. I'm not gonna lie, I zoned out there for a minute, so I didn't
right.
hear 100% what you were talking about.
No, you're good.
But I don't really know where I'm going with this. But
And
yeah,
there goes Griffin.
I said one thing, and then I was like, I went to a different world. The ping,
You
I
got
started lagging. I think it was to the extent about the Patriots' offense has been very different with a Drake May in the playoffs, especially with the way his confidence has been looking. Am I close?
Almost.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So I think
And that's because the O-line.
Because of-
Oh yeah,
O-line.
because the O-line has really struggled, and against a D-line like Seattle, it's gonna be tough for them to like that improve that game. I think the run game is gonna have to be
Yeah.
there for the.
That's
Patriots.
another
I don't even
story.
know.
Honestly, actually,
Stevenson's had
Run,
know what I'm
such a-
talking
run games, run games definitely going to be
I slept
important
on the
for both.
floor. I slept on the floor last night, and I haven't slept in days.
All right. Well,
Oh,
Griffin's coming in early, but we did run like a little bit long on this segment.
I'm gonna do like a last minute tag in
But
off the
either
top
way-
rope, send us to break.
Yeah, like we didn't really mention the run game that much as part of our X factors, but I mean, like, we have today, and we also have like we have 2 days from now to get into it as well. But like, just really quickly on the run game, Ramondre Stevenson has had a huge turnaround since they brought Travion Henderson into the game, and he scored like a couple of touchdowns. I forget exactly what game it was, but I remember watching it.
I don't remember the exact week either, but he really struggled with fumbles to start the season. I think he had 3 fumbles in the first 5 games or so, and that had been a struggle his entire career. And it seeped in the minds of Patriots fans, myself included. Is the Ramondre era going to be over?
Yeah.
Are we going to fully hand it over to Henderson? And Henderson had this electric second half of the regular season, but in the postseason, the better player, pound for pound, no doubt, has been Stevenson, to the point where Henderson barely even played.
It lit a
against the
fire.
Broncos.
It lit a fire under
So
Stevenson for sure.
that's a storyline to look at. Is Stevenson has been the explosive back. He's had as many. I think he has as many 50-plus rushing yard touchdowns in a rookie season as any player in NFL history. He carries that capacity, but has not been that guy in the postseason. Do you let him ride in a game where you're going to need a couple big plays, especially considering how much the offense has struggled to get the big play in the postseason? What's the snap percentage mix going to be between Ramondre and Travion? That's going to be one of those niche storylines that could define this game, and we might look back at how the Patriots offense did and said, well, maybe if Travion played more or less, that would have changed things.
Yeah, and honestly, while I'm here on with you two very briefly, particularly on with Joe, I would like to say, all fairness, I do think the Patriots D-line matches up extremely well against the Seahawks O-line. This is also the best defense, in my opinion, by a pretty wide margin that the Seahawks have played in the past 6 weeks, because played the Rams twice, better than the Rams, better than the Panthers defense.
They certainly haven't seen that
better,
good of a
way
defense
better
in the
than
playoffs.
the running defense is night and day from the 49ers defense. I can't remember the last time the last time the Seahawks played a good defense was the Falcons, and the Falcons didn't let them score for the first half. Granted, it was a boat race in the second half, but I think really that is something that has kind of maybe been overlooked. And I am a Seahawks fan that's very positive about the Super Bowl, and I do fully expect us to win. But guys, I'm a fan.
Either way,
it's hard.
yeah.
I fully expect the Seahawks to win. But it is one of those things where, particularly against the run, the Patriots are very, very strong.
Yeah.
And that is something that recently the Seahawks have unlocked, and it's really helped Seattle be good and take a lot of pressure off Sam Darnold, get the explosive plays going, set up the play action. And I think it will be a defensive battle. And honestly, I think it'll be a battle of the trenches.
Yeah.
Because I think both lines will be able to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I think we've been at this whole time. But I was gonna comment on a part of that shtick, but
to bring up
now
a
I've
key
completely
stat
lost
from
it.
that, Patriots allowing just 3.1 yards per carry in the postseason. The D-line has been, it was already an above-average D-line, and then you bring Milton Williams back into the fold. I think it might be I don't know if I'd say it's the best defensive line in football, but it certainly is playing like it right now. It totally has wreaked havoc on games. I don't have the exact stats number up. I want to say they have 10 sacks through the first 3 games of the postseason. Both running and passing, the Patriots have had immense success, and that's on the exterior and especially on the interior, which is interesting because Kenneth Walker's a guy, he can run outside the tackles, but he's also a big guy as well.
I will say, on the flip side of that, Seahawks back half of the season run defensively have played Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams twice, Christian McCaffrey twice. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Christian McCaffrey.
No, I said Christian McCaffrey twice.
Okay.
Used to be on the Cowboys. Great on the Panthers now.
Oh.
Running back.
Oh yeah, they played the
Used to be on the Cowboys, on the Panthers now. Running back.
Dowdle.
Yeah, Dowdle. And Dowdle. Not one of them.
I was like thinking for like a top 10 running
Not
back.
one of them. Not one of them had a run longer than 10 yards.
Wow.
In any of those games.
Yeah, and Griffin, to your point from before about the Seahawks
Woody Marks.
having kind of a slow start the last time they played against like a really solid defense, they can afford that, I think, in this Super Bowl. They can afford to have that slow start in the first half because their defense is so solid and will likely be keeping the Patriots relatively at bay over the first 2 quarters in this game. I think they have some breathing room, at least in the first quarter, to sort of feel things out offensively and figure out where they're going to go for the rest of the game.
I actually think the most likely outcome, if the Seahawks were to win, is you almost flip the script on the Patriots in the sense that the Patriots have won these playoff games on their defense, and they set their offense. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those guys who says like, oh, the Patriots offense is bad. But I think we can acknowledge that the defense has set them up for a lot of success, especially in the field position game. And I think that's
and arguably in Houston too.
Yeah, and I think honestly because of Drake May's kind of fumble concerns sometimes under pressure, I think the Seahawks defense could put the Seahawks offense in very good field position. And with the special teams, I think that's what you have to do. Because you mentioned this, downfield, the Patriots have to do the same thing. Seahawks and Patriots both pretty mediocre in red zone defense.
Patriots
at least in the beginning.
Worst in the league in
wow.
the season.
But at least in the beginning of the game, the Seahawks are pretty mediocre in the red zone.
In
But when you got to drive 70 yards, which is rare now because of the kickoff rules, but if you have to drive 60 or 70 yards against either of these defenses, it's going to be pretty difficult, I would say. Should we tag everyone in? Do you have something to say?
I think so.
No, I think
I think it's
take
all right.
It's definitely time.
Yeah.
You heard from Kelty. You heard from Joe Henry. You heard from myself, and you've also heard from Griffin. Griffin's going to stick around, but we will have Chris Carino and Brendan Shorey jump on to give their takes on Super Bowl predictions on today, our Day 1 Radio Row one-on-one stream. We'll be back after this break.
Welcome back into one-on-one, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Brendan Shorey here alongside Griffin Stevenson and Chris Carino for our what is the final segment of our show today. You just heard from Tucker Ross and Joe Henry, Owen Kelty for a bit, and then he subbed out for Griffin right here once his brain finally gave out for the day.
Darnold spoke about the importance of sleep.
He did.
That's
a good call, Griff.
And I think Owen didn't really take that to heart.
I think he just heard it a tiny bit too late. But I'm assuming. Well,
Owen was probably zoned out during that press conference.
With Owen, there are no assumptions. You can't assume he's going to learn anything from
Correct.
That. But one can only hope that he takes just a little bit from that.
I have just a general question to get us started, just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
What's the first Super Bowl you guys remember?
Saints, Colts.
I'm Steelers, Cardinals before that.
I see. That's the one that I always think was the one I first remember, but I really don't. I realize I'm just remembering the Madden cover of it.
Or the memories of people talking about it.
No one's talking about just Madden cover.
No, I remember watching that one. I remember the Santonio Holmes catch and everything.
I only remember that one from clips. I'm also Saints Colts.
That was my first Madden. That's a good call. I think everyone in our generation's first Madden was Madden 10.
Mine was
Madden.
Mine was 09 on the Wii with Drew Brees on the cover.
That's Drew
Aim
Brees.
the Wii remote and you press A and it's like a little circle and you choose where to throw
Is
it.
08 what's his name from Texas? Vince Young? Or am I making that up?
Vince Young's on one. I don't know which one.
Ooh, wait, was it 11 that had
09 had Breeze.
Was it 11 that had that one running back from Cleveland?
No, it's what's his name? You're so annoying for bringing that up because I know his name.
What's the dude? And he had the bulldog face mask.
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Come on.
Yeah, Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, Joe.
I was like, who is
that?
This
Was
dude?
a fan contest they did that year. That was Madden 11.
Wait, so someone got to choose a random player?
And it was or 12, and it was a contest, and they had I remember this happening. It was a tournament, and each seed was a different player, and you would win based on getting outvoted by outvoting the other player. And this guy Peyton Hillis won the tournament, and it was on Madden. It was like internet trolling before before the internet.
It's kind of absurd.
It was truly the public trolling Madden.
Before really quickly we get into this, can we just agree that what were they doing with Madden 25? Not Madden 25 as in what came out last year, as in Madden 20, as in Madden 25, the one that was the 25th anniversary one.
Oh, okay. You had me confused.
No, I can't.
What were they
agree
doing
with
with
Barry Sanders cover?
Yeah, but that was just not it.
I kind of like.
I disagree.
I disagree too, because it threw off. They were so in their structure of Madden year, and then just for the special 25, they threw in.
Well, I think also
but
I also think that the best Madden of all time came out the year after that, which ruins it.
It's probably fair.
Madden 16.
Aggro catches are just ridiculous in that game.
Madden 19.
No,
Madden 20.
Madden 20 is elite.
Madden 20 is Ultimate Team, bro.
Everyone's so fast.
It's so cheesy. You could just have Lamar Jackson run around like Roadrunner, and then if you have Tyreek Hill, you just toss it up. And if you're not,
that makes the game terrible.
No, but there was one point in the year when there literally wasn't a corner that could cover Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
No, that means the game is
also,
terrible.
That does mean the game.
Russ had a great signature. I was in COVID class at 9 a.m. opening packs with coins because actually Madden packs, if you pay with coins, pay out actually a fair amount. I packed the most expensive card in the game, 9 a.m. in my Zoom class. You know what card it was?
What?
Signature Series, Shaquille Griffin.
Wow.
And he was like 1.2 mil.
Who's on the roster?
It was like 1.2 mil.
Who's on the roster?
Shaquille Griffin's on the
roster.
So he gets a ring?
He had his own sweatsuit 2 days ago. What do you mean? With 26 or not 26, whatever.
I honestly did not know he was
Shaquille Griffin and someone else that is has been with us a long time but isn't playing at all.
I always forget which one lost their hand.
Shaquem has no hand.
Oh.
Okay.
No, and I have a Shaquem Griffin UCF jersey that's just for the record.
Shaquem has no hand.
But Shaquille Griffin I'm going to do some research on that in the meantime. What I also want to talk about, just bring this back to the Super Bowl, I feel like Madden, and this is a story I heard in one of my classes a long time ago, the Super Bowl matchup is always the game. Like unless if you don't switch the teams, that's the matchup in Madden on Play Now. Mm-hmm. And I remember this kid in my class saying he was a diehard Cardinal fan his entire life because his first Madden was Madden 10. He didn't know how to change the teams, so he just had to use the Cardinals all the time, and that's how he became a fan.
I feel bad for that.
It's funny how people become fans of things. You know?
That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm a Manchester United fan, diehard Manchester United fan, because in 5th grade, I went to my friend's house, and we played FIFA, and there was this guy, Memphis Depay. He's a Dutch player. I just really liked him for some reason on the game. So I'm like, I'm going to be a Manchester United fan. I started watching, and I literally haven't missed a game since. And Memphis Depay was horrible for Manchester United. So, it's just one of those things where it's just like.
There's no loyalty that way.
Well, but you can't be a naturalized Manchester – you can't be a naturalized British soccer fan from America. No one around me watched at all. I've been watching the longest out of any of my friends from Portland.
Okay, well, how about that kid whose favorite team is all of a sudden the Cardinals?
Mm-hmm. That's fair though. When you're young,
not.
If you stick with it, it's fair.
They had Kurt
I
Warner at the time. To be fair.
Okay, let's talk about what we think about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mentioned this a little bit. I think
Also, new Maddens don't get enough love. That new Madden, most recent one, is good, like actually good. And that matchup last year, Eagles-Chiefs, I feel like that plays a lot for Madden. Like, I feel like there's a lot of guys like Saquon, like obviously Mahomes on the other side. There's a lot of Madden-type players in that one. I feel like this game specifically with Patriots-Seahawks doesn't translate as well to Madden.
Yeah.
Is that a fair take?
Because
the defenses are so good, and it's hard to portray that into a video game, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a fair take.
I think like I said,
just to fully transition us.
Yeah, I think well, and I think that maybe because I think this is going to be a trenches battle. And Bradford scares me as a Seahawks fan. Gray Zabel strikes confidence in me as a Seahawks fan. Charles Cross strikes confidence in me as a Seahawks fan. And Abraham Lucas just goes out there and plays his heart out. So, yeah, I think
what does that mean?
it means I honestly don't watch
Abraham.
I don't watch Abraham Lucas tape, but I haven't all season been like, wow, Abraham Lucas really played bad in that game. But I've also never been like, yo, because there's a lot of clips of Seahawks O-linemen like getting downfield the block. Like Gray Zabel will sprint like 40 yards.
I got it. Quandre Diggs is on the roster. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
A former Seahawk who's now back on the roster. Thank you.
Seahawks signed him.
God, that was killing me. Yeah, Quandre Diggs and Shaquille Griffin, two guys who aren't going to have a presence right now on the roster, but guys who just put so much time in Seahawk uniforms and will get, hopefully, the ring they deserve.
Sam Darnold's first ever NFL pass was a pick six to Quandre Diggs.
That's also a good stat. That was, and also
full circle moment.
And this is, I would never have brought this up. You just made me think of it. But for how good the secondary has been, it's ironic that the one guy they let go from the secondary, Michael Jackson, ends up having like this All-Pro year in Carolina. Yeah, that. Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant both played in the same secondary. That didn't get talked about enough throughout the year. But a testament to how good the secondary is. Even a guy they get rid of, Michael Jackson, he can have one of the best cornerback seasons of the season.
Yeah,
Mike Jackson, but that has so much less aura.
Yeah,
I disagree, actually.
You think Mike Jackson has more aura than Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson, and then be like, oh, he's gonna go by Mike.
Yeah,
I think Mike has.
It's fine. My kid's gonna.
Not. There's not that big of a difference.
Yeah,
there is.
It's fine. When my kid's name is.
Who's the king of pop? Mike Jackson or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Thank you.
When my kid's name is.
King of pop.
When my kid's name is Sam Smith and Jigba Eamon
Yeah.
People will understand.
When
I got no comment for that, actually.
When my daughter asks why I named her after something I love, I'll tell her. I'll say, Night 1 Super Bowl fan zone. It's because you were super – you just had that angelic vibe about you.
Yeah.
I was making a joke saying I was going to name that.
I got it.
Okay, not name her after the Superstore. No.
Michelle McDonald.
Michelle McDonald.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's talk about the game.
Say where you're going with that, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Speaking of Suns, let's talk about the Patriots. Maybe.
Actually, I was just going to say, I don't think it's fair.
Wow, Joe, that was Joe Henry. That was disrespectful, Joe Henry.
I don't think it's fair whenever the Seahawks are going to be on offense because the Patriots are going to have 12 on the field with Anthony Bradford.
I'm just going to have to continually knock on a piece of wood for like 3 hours in order to get rid of the jinxing this kid has done over the last week.
Yeah.
Like literally knock for like 3 hours straight. What? No, mine just comes from.
Do you know what my problem is?
Justified confidence.
I've actually stopped believing in sports jinxing.
See, I don't love that. I don't love that at all.
That is who you're rooting.
No,
with.
because every time you jinx something, there's a fan on the other team also jinxing it the other way.
But then they knock on wood.
Well, I also just think Sam Darnold.
Keep going.
Well,
say it.
The Seahawks have some sort of mythical power to them. My favorite Seahawks interaction so far this year is one of the Seahawks beat reporters posted a photo of his Etsy witch for the Niners game, and then a Niners fan responded, and he goes, "Brock Purdy's a man of God, so this witchcraft won't work." And then he responded, "My witch is stronger than your God." And then the Seahawks won. So
what are we talking about?
This sounds very satanic.
They're the dark side, aren't they?
The dark side is not.
I'm confused.
It's so different.
I'm confused.
The dark side is from Star Wars.
Dark woke.
I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Can we talk about the Super Bowl? That would be.
Yeah, we're talking about the Seahawks defense.
Are we?
The dark side.
Are we?
The dark side.
No. I think going into the Super Bowl, like obviously the Seahawks defense is probably the biggest or the most important aspect of this game. That Patriot defense, I think naturally gets under-talked about because of how good the Seahawks defense is. But this Patriot defense, underrated coming into this game. It's easy to say it's underrated, especially for how diverse they are as well. It seems similar to the Seahawks. Every position group has a few guys that not only are good and not only are quality, but are guys that are going to get it done in the big moments as well.
I think you look at there are certain spots in their defense, and I think you could argue they're better than the Seahawks. Like you look
No.
at
Like actually nowhere.
you look at D tackle Barmore, Milton Williams.
Nope. Byron Murphy's better.
I hate to agree with Griff, Brendan.
Byron
I'm
Murphy's
saying
better.
there's an argument.
No, the Seahawks are literally. Can we talk?
Look at
Okay,
the
can we
cornerback
talk about
room.
it? Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this
Christian
actually?
Gonzalez and Marcus
Can I talk
Jones.
about? Can I talk about it actually though? The Seahawks are better in literally every facet. Are literally better in every facet of the game than the Patriots. Sam Darnold's been better in the playoffs. Like no debate. No debate. Sam Darnold's been better in the playoffs. Running back Kenneth Walker's better. O-line besides Lucas, O-line unit as a whole is better.
Wide receiver 1,
wide receiver 1's better. Wide receiver 2's better. Wide receiver 3's better.
You said on defense.
Tight end.
He's talking about offense.
Tight
Yeah, I
ends.
don't know why.
Tight end's better.
Quarterback better, Griff?
Cornerback better.
You're trying to recruit
AJ
another
Barner,
one?
Joe. AJ Barner is better than Hunter
To
Henry.
root for,
Griffin is saying on both sides of the ball, Joe, that the Patriots don't have a single position group better than the Seahawks.
Are better. The Seahawks are better.
You really can't side with this
no,
anymore.
can we go? No, okay. Can we actually walk through this? Sam Darnold in the playoffs has been infinitely better than Drake May.
Sorry, which one was an MVP candidate?
How funny.
one-
He
you
started it with Darnold's better than Drake May.
You have me
In the playoffs,
defending
he
the
has been.
Patriots. You have me defending the Patriots right now.
In the
Yeah, you might need
turn
to
that
mute.
mic
You
back
might
on.
need to
No,
mute him.
this is
Owen.
censorship.
Keep it off. Keep it
No,
off.
it's not. Oh, wait,
You
now I can
deserve
hear myself. Now I can hear
censorship,
myself.
Griff. This is crazy.
Okay, in the playoffs, way better. Sam Darnold just threw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks.
My God.
In the NFC Championship
My
game.
quarterback's going to throw for 5 interceptions on Sunday because of this kid. And I'm going to be
He has
so pissed.
Drake May has the second lowest passer success rate to make the Super Bowl in NFL history, dude.
That's such a hater stat. Like, why do you know that?
Running back.
Such
Kenneth
a
Walker's
hater
better.
stat. Like,
Kenneth Walker's better.
Running back group.
Kenneth Walker's
not
better.
true
Running
either.
back committee. Which one's better?
Okay.
Because
Maybe.
they run by committee.
Tight end.
maybe.
Tight end.
They run by
Okay,
committee.
but RB1, Kenneth Walker's better.
I would argue A.J. Barner's better than
AJ Barner is better than Hunter Henry.
I actually would.
He brings way more to the blocking game than Hunter Henry brings.
It's fair.
You guys, the Seahawks are better in every aspect except for right guard.
Sorbert and Arroyo, like the Seahawks are deep tight end
Yeah,
too.
they are.
You cannot tell
Yeah.
me that there's any corner on the Seahawks that is better than Gonzo.
Witherspoon has a case.
Literally wore a Witherspoon
Mute-
jersey
mute
yesterday,
him.
and I don't agree with that.
Mute him.
Well, that's because
That's
Jared Stidham
crazy.
threw a meatball sub with extra
Did Devin have
Parmesan,
4
bro.
tackles in the NFC
Dude, Jared
Championship
Stidham threw a fly.
Did
Jared
Devin have
Stidham threw
4
a pop
tackles in the
fly.
NFC Championship game?
Stidham threw a pop fly with the game on the line.
That's one.
Okay, but that
That is
honestly should
one.
not even go in the interception stat sheet. That interception.
Every interception
I
counts.
know, but
you still got to make a play.
Ernest Jones has
The
more
hole that
interceptions.
Griffin's dug for himself
No.
is like 12
Okay, let's
feet
go.
deep now.
Let's dig
He's
through
about to
this.
switch
Okay, fine.
me off of the
Fine. I'll
Seahawks.
give you Gonzo, but overall cornerback unit, the Seahawks.
You better
are
switch
better.
me off the
Oh,
Seahawks. What do you
safeties.
mean?
Oh, safeties are so much better. The Seahawks dominate the safety position. Julian Love and Eamon Worry is so much better than anything.
If you would have said that as the first group you would have talked about, I would have been more responsive to it. The fact you've now gone through
Julian Love
both
is an
teams
all-pro
and
corner.
admitted that
He's
you
an
think
all-pro
Sam
safety.
Darnold's better than Drake May, I'm irritated.
Would you swap Sam Darnold for Drake May?
Yes,
No,
right now.
No,
What do we talk? Like,
No.
what is this conversation?
I wouldn't.
This is like so like.
I actually think that's like not even crazy
what?
to say.
It is.
You're
It's
a Seahawks fan,
insane
would you
to
swap
say.
Drake May for Sam Darnold right now.
Yes.
In the game.
Yes.
Are you nuts?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I don't know if I have anything else to say really.
Well, I think I'll be proven right.
Like
What? Yeah. Oh, no,
No,
I'd
see, the
swap
thing is-
I'd swap Matthew Stafford. Like, I'd take Matthew Stafford as the quarterback for the Super Bowl. Yes.
Okay.
But that's because Matthew Stafford is far and away
but
the
not
MVP.
Drake May.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's. Trevor Lawrence had a more deserving MVP season than Drake May. And that's not even ridiculous to
What?
say.
What? Wait,
Trevor
what did you?
Lawrence
Wait,
is
no.
the
Repeat what you just said. Repeat it. I'm not. Or just repeat it. Repeat it.
Trevor Lawrence had a more deserving MVP season than Drake May. Trevor Lawrence should have been second place for MVP.
Joe, let's clip that, please.
Tucker, you don't want to come back.
Nah, Tucker,
It's not
honestly,
even
stay over there.
ridiculous.
Griffin's had Sam Darnold's better than Drake May, and Trevor Lawrence had a better MVP campaign than Drake May did in
I
the
think
last
he
5
did.
minutes. He
Strength
said
of
that.
schedule-wise, Trevor Lawrence also has better stats.
Those are 2 of the worst football takes I've ever heard.
I was saying for the playoff. Sam.
What is happening?
Yeah.
And Tucker's not
Tucker.
on a microphone. He is saying that he thinks
He
he
also
agrees
said-
with the
he also
Sam
said
Darnold
that
take, but does not
genuinely-
agree with the other one.
There is no position in which the Patriots are better than the Seahawks.
Besides Bradford, I actually think at every position. I think
And
at
then I
every
pointed
position
out
it's better.
Gonzo.
And
maybe Gonzo.
even the one position group where he's given leeway, I think he's
What?
wrong. Anthony Bradford's tough. That's like Seahawks Twitter. Seahawks Twitter will tell you Anthony Bradford's bad. If you actually watch, Anthony Bradford's
he's
tough.
not as bad as everyone says he is.
No, he's not even a third of as bad as people think. He's like a really good offensive lineman.
No, Kenneth Walker's way
yes,
better
he
than
is.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ask Baldy about it. I swear. Baldy does full breakdowns on Anthony Bradford by himself.
Chris, can you debate this?
Telling
he
you,
said
bro, he's
prime
tough.
Ramondre is better than Kenneth Walker. The Seahawks haven't even seen prime Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's better.
All right, we're now having a carousel of really stupid arguments.
Running back on a team
we're now having a carousel of really stupid arguments.
Hold on.
Griffin, we have 7 minutes left in the show. Let's not do this for the last 7 minutes.
Kenneth Walker has a top 5 running back season on a team where he's like actually fed RB1.
All right. Kenneth Walker is the best running back in the game. Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Defensively, Julian. Okay.
Sam Darnold.
No, we've just been doing this for the last 10 minutes.
I think it's pretty evident with my prediction.
No, I think he thinks the Pats are going to squeak it out, actually.
Yeah, I think the Pats are going to
If it was up to Griffin, he thinks the Seahawks
Brendan,
are winning 40-0.
Brendan, give your prediction.
Oh, also, Mike McDonald's a better coach than Mike Vrabel.
Did you turn
Mike
him off?
McDonald deserves Coach of the Year over Vrabel.
I would love for you in one way to describe what that means. Like one way. One way to describe what that means.
Wait, for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, like you're saying he's a way better coach. In one way, how is he a way better coach?
Both had the same preseason win total. Mike McDonald has transformed the second worst rush defense to the best rush defense in the league. Mike McDonald
in 2 years, not one.
Mike McDonald has only lost 2 games on the road since being the head coach.
That's just talking about the teams right now. My point was he wasn't going to be like.
Mike McDonald hasn't lost a game off of a bye week this season, which I would say is pretty emblematic of coaching adjustments. Mike McDonald didn't allow points in the didn't allow points.
That wasn't Mike McDonald not allowing points. That was the defense.
The 49ers 2 weeks in a row. Also, the biggest one, they had the same preseason win total. The Seahawks had a better record, and the Seahawks, not only did Mike McDonald play every single other Coach of the Year candidate and beat them this year, except for Vrabel, and Mike McDonald won the historically best division based on record in NFL history. How is that not Coach of the Year? How is that not Coach of the Year?
First-year head coach with a team took him from 4 wins last year to the Super Bowl now with a second-year quarterback.
Took him to Super Bowl with Sam
I feel
Darnold.
like it's pretty simple.
What dumb argument are we having right now? I don't even know which dumb argument we're having.
You just argued Darnold's better than May.
You were going to say that, but Patriots finished 3rd in the NFC West.
I don't even know. What is he even talking about? No, he's just saying that.
We know Griffin's pick.
Can we all agree that the Patriots would not do as well as the Seahawks did in the NFC West this season if they played in the NFC West the regular season? Mike McDonald
and a real downgrade in your production ability that he hasn't been muted yet. They're like, what are we doing over there?
That's not even a crazy
What are we doing
take.
over there? It's bananas.
Owen, that's not even a crazy take.
I mean, that's just crazy.
That's
still,
not
his
crazy.
mic is still on. That's bananas.
That's not crazy.
I don't even know what to
You haven't
think
said a normal
anymore.
thing in this entire.
If the Patriots if the Patriots replace the Cardinals in the regular season in the NFC West, I think they finish 4th in the NFC West.
Wow.
Well, let's talk about Coach of the Year.
Can we just give our picks?
Brendan, I've been waiting for you to give your pick.
As
the non-biased guy,
Give score
the most biased, the second most biased,
Give
and
score
the non-biased.
Give score.
How many points are?
What's the over in this one?
What is?
We can talk.
What is the spread?
That's
the spread?
It's -4.5 Seahawks.
4.5.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks cover, but I don't think they. I think
they better have $90 on it.
You are confident. I think the Seahawks will take this one by 10.
45.5.
I think 45.5. I think we're gonna get like a 27-17 type of score. Seahawks.
What do you have, Chris? Or
Let it simmer. I'm saying 7 times 5. I'm going to go
35.
Thank you. I'm going to go 35-14 Seahawks.
Wow.
3 touchdown win.
I'll go 35-17.
Wow, he's less confident than I am. That's crazy.
And he's the one with money on it already.
I just think, and just to give a slow spiel on a small explanation, I think I've been so confident in the Seahawks coming into every week. NFC Championship, probably the least confident, and that's just in comparison because I've been very confident. But even that game more than any other game showed me when this team has a big game with a big opportunity ahead of them, they will take advantage of it to the best of their ability. I expect them to do nothing less on Sunday. This Seahawks team has played, in my opinion, 2 teams better than the Patriots on the road to playing the Patriots, and I've been given no reason, and I have full confidence in this Seahawks team.
I've seen the game script. The Seahawks defer the kick. First Patriots drive is a 3-and-out. Seahawks march down the field. Kenneth Walker touchdown. Then Drake May fumbles off a sack on the next one. Seahawks punch it in, and then it's gone from there.
Yeah, book it, guys.
Book it.
That's definitely happening.
Brendan, send us home, Brendan.
Well, I think we said I'm sending us home.
Griffin did want to send us home.
I'm sending us home just like the Seahawks are sending the
Just
Patriots
because
home
he started, I just
on
started doing it.
Sunday.
Griffin did ask.
It'll be a long flight back to Boston. Sorry. Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
Boston.
Joe, you got to take some offense.
He
to
just
that.
said Boston. We got to get out of here, bro.
I don't know. The Patriots, man, actually are schedule merchants. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean,
Can I wrap the show, please? This is ridiculous.
No, imagine, before we go, let me slander. Only 3 of the teams they played didn't have a member of the opposing team's coaching staff fired at the end of the season. So that should tell you about the state of the teams they
you
played.
can't phase Joe Henry, bro. You cannot.
Joe Henry's past the point of being phased.
He is like rage bait, like.
No, if I had
immune.
the defense on rage bait that Joe Henry did, my life would be maybe 3 times better.
Yeah.
Genuinely, 3 times better maybe. But because I can't stay as even keel as our sports manager, I will continue to be the victim of that.
I think Joe Henry knows, and I think every Patriots fan knows. I look forward to Dave Portnoy tears.
He's just letting it all fly.
That's what I look forward to. That'll wrap up the show. This was a great episode. We talked a lot of stuff. Talked about San Francisco first impressions. We're going to explore the city a little bit more after this. Maybe get a nice dinner.
Thank you to Brian Baldinger for joining us as well.
Thank you to our guests. Look forward to some more exciting guests tomorrow for day 2. Look forward to some more team availability stuff tomorrow on day 3 of official team availability. I've been Griffin Stevenson, joined by Chris Carino, Brendan Shorey, Joe Henry, Owen Kelty, and Tucker Austin. Everyone's helped out in production. Everyone's helped out as hosts. Huge shout out to our sports director, Bobby Chaffardini. Remember, One-on-One is a production of WFUV Sports.
See you tomorrow, guys.
It's WFUV New York, public media from Fordham University. Come for the music, stay for the community. Listen at 90.7 FM or at WFUV.org.